Hey guys, good evening. Guys, if you're able to see my screen, just type S in the chat box so that we can get started. Yeah, thanks for the confirmation. So guys, let's rewind wherever we are yesterday. Okay, the pending topics were there in the from the yesterday session. Let's go there and try to wrap up for today with that pending topics. Just give me a second. Let me go to the required folder. Okay, so here is the thing, guys. So we are at this part. I'll open this link where we have a test plan document actually. Let me open this. This is a test plan document which I'm going to cover next. I'll download this document. Okay, you can see this document, right? In the previous, in one of the previous sessions also, I went through this. I have taken you through this document, guys. Assume that you are working for a Solitech company, and here we have the client and all those stuff. I explained about the overview part. Already I covered this as part of the project. The client name is Tutorials Ninja as asked Solitech, the company where we are working, to test few functionalities of this application, web application. This is the project. This is a project. This is a client. This is our company where we are working. And this overview section of the test plan document, which simply says that this document serves as a high level test planning document with the details on the scope of the project, strategy, schedule, and other stuff which are there in this different sections of this document. What is the next section, guys? As I mentioned here in the overview, you see scope of the project will be there. I already covered about the scope of the project. I already have explained about the scope of the project in the previous sessions as part of this test plan document demonstration. So, though the application, this particular application is given for you for testing, though this particular application is given for testing, okay, though this particular application is given for testing, the client may not expect you to test the entire functionalities of the application or entire application. The client may not want you to test. What the client may have given you a list of functionalities that you have to perform testing on. Okay, this may be the list of functionalities. Okay, that the client want you to perform testing on. Okay, so that is in scope. Okay, inclusion or in scope. And at same time, we have exclusion means whatever you have not covered here automatically will come into out of scope. All the features except that are not mentioned under the inclusions are automatically exclusions, that is out of scope. And any third party features are payment gateways and test automation. You see, only manual testing is part of the project. Automation testing, assume that it's not part of the project for now. And also I covered about the test environments. Okay. What are the different environments? Because I'm also covering this test environments under the scope section because there will be a lot of test environments in which you can perform the testing on. And these are the list of environments you and client want to, accept together. Okay. Depending on the number of resources and all, as per the priority of the different environments. These are the list of environments you and client have finalized. Okay. So you'll be performing testing only on these environments. If in case a defect comes in a different environment, which is not available in this list of test environments, you are not responsible for that. Okay. After the client accept this test plan document, after the client accept this test plan document, this will be like, the list of environments in which you need to perform testing and identify the defects. If any particular defects comes outside of this any other environment, for example, tomorrow in here Windows 10 is there, but in Windows 11, if you get a defect, you are not worried about that because in your test environments list, that test environment is not available. Windows 11 environment is not there. Hope you got it right. I covered test environments in depth in one of the previous sessions. You can go through that. But at a high level, is this clear so far? The overview section of the test plan document and the scope and scope section of the test plan document containing the test environments in scope, out of scope is clear for everyone. Just type C in the chat box if you are clear so far, or if you have any questions, you can ask me right away before I go to the next section. Is it clear, guys? Everyone clear with the overview section and also the scope section? Already I covered in the previous sessions. Okay. If it is clear, just type C in the chat box. That's enough. Okay. Fine then. The next thing is Strategy, guys. This is the heart of the document, guys. Test strategy is the heart of the test plan document. Test strategy is the heart of the test plan document, guys. Okay. Test strategy is the heart of the test plan document. So I told you right already in one of the previous sessions, I told you every company has its own strategy for performing testing. Like TCS company will have its own test strategy. Infosys will have its own test strategy. You know, any company. Cognizant will have its own strategy. Capgemini will have its own strategy. For as I'll assume that this strategy is for SolIT company where you are working. Okay, if you are an employee from SolIT company, their test strategy is like this. Every company want to create a best strategy. To impress the clients and all. They want to create a proper test strategy, and using this strategy only testing will be performed. Like we have war strategies, right? You can do wars with drones. You can do war with a lot of people. You can do a guerrilla warfare. Okay, you can simply trigger a button, nuclear bomb will go off. Okay, like that. Every depending on situation, circumstances, project type, and company type, the strategies of the strategies will become different, guys. Like the wars between different companies are different. Similarly, the strategies are going to be different, guys. Okay, similarly, the test strategies are going to be different. So you can compare the strategy with the war. Okay, how you want to perform the war, how you want to perform testing. That is part of the strategy. Okay, what is your strategy of performing testing? That you have to decide here. So Solytic has communicated with Solytic is a company where we are working, has communicated with the client company, that is Tutorials Ninja, and has understood that we need to perform functional testing, manual functional testing of all functionalities mentioned in the above scope section. These are the list of areas that we are going to perform testing, okay, as part of this project that we have said. So now, as part of this manual functional testing, we'll follow the below approach. Okay, as part of the strategy, we are going to provide the approaches. Okay, so here I have provided something like around 3 steps I provided. You can provide 5 steps, 10 steps up to you. But in this example, there are 3 steps. Let's understand. Step 1, creation of test scenarios and test cases for different features in scope. Everyone now understood, right? What is the scenario and test case, right? Everyone has understood, right? What are the scenarios and test cases, right? In one of the previous sessions, I already showed you how the scenarios and test cases already look like, right? So if you go here, if you want to see the scenarios and test cases, I can take you through these notes. You can find out that there. I'll open this test cases. You see, complete test cases. Guys, we already have gone through this SKS document, right? And I have shown you in one of the previous sessions in the last weekend, I think so. I have demonstrated how to run the test cases, how to report a defect in a bug tracking tool, everything I covered there, okay? Don't have to cover more on this, okay? So this is a complete test case document. In the document itself, test scenarios are also there. Just let me show you. Already I covered this, guys. As part of the previous sessions, already I covered you. What are scenarios, test cases, and all those stuff, you know? So like this, the document will be there. Okay. So here, what I am saying in the test plan document, as part of the step 1 of our test strategy, okay, how we are going to perform testing. Directly, we are not going to perform testing. Before we perform testing, what we are going to do? First, we are going to create test scenarios. First, we are going to create scenarios. Where are the scenarios? These are the scenarios. Okay. The scenarios means what, guys? What are test scenarios? Anyone remember what are scenarios? Scenarios will have scenario ID reference from which using which you have created the scenario. That is, in this case study, we have used application URL, that is tutorialsninja.com/demo application URL we have used for deriving the scenario. And here, scenario will be something like verify the working of register account functionality. For example, guys, if you have to test wish list functionality, how do you write the test scenario? Type in the chat box, guys. Okay. I want you guys to type in the scenario. Okay. I'll give a clue also. Using that, you just type in the chat box. Okay. Without being interactive, right? I cannot explain, guys. So be interactive. Otherwise, I'll not understand whether you are understanding or not. So verify the working of XYZ functionality. This is the format I will use generally for creating a scenario, test scenario. Test scenario is nothing but what? Test scenario is nothing but is equal to high level test case. High level, for every functionality, there will be one scenario. Okay. High level test case. We generally call the test scenario as high level test case. So verify the working of login functionality. Verify the working of register account functionality. If you have to test If you have to create a test scenario for wish list functionality, how do you create? By looking at this scenario, you can write, guys. Okay, in the chat box, I want you to write. I want everyone to type in the chat box so that I can understand whether you are able to understand how to create the scenarios. The similar format you need to write for wishlist functionality, you write. For wishlist functionality, I want you guys to write the test scenario. Guys, can you write the test scenario for the wishlist functionality? Type in the chat box. I want to review once. Do it fast, guys, because we don't have much time. Otherwise, I have to just cross check. Anusha, just cross check. You have written, but you are missing some words. Here, verify the working of XYZ functionality. You said verify the wishlist functionality. Okay, verify the working of. Working of. You have to write. Okay. Verify the working of add to cart wishlist functionality. Okay. Verify the working of wishlist functionality is fine. Okay. Wishlist functionality is enough. No need to write that level. Path, you don't have to write that level. Simple. It should be like this. Path, it should be something like this. Verify the working of wishlist functionality is enough. Okay. No need to write all this open and all those stuff. Okay. Simple statement is required for high level test scenario, right? A simple statement like verify the working of wishlist functionality. Yes. So Sudhindra Jitur, right? That's correct. Okay. Vinod also, you are right. We know verify the working of wishlist functionality written by Vinod is also right in the chat box. Verify the working of wishlist functionality. J is also right almost. Nidhi is also right. Correct. Yeah. Now you are able to get it, right? Yeah. This is what is the. So how to write the test scenario for the wishlist functionality? Verify the working of wishlist functionality. Verify the working of wishlist functionality. You have to write. Verify the working of the wishlist functionality, guys. Okay, that's done. Next is what? Next is what? So like that, how many functionalities are defined in the in scope? Register. How do you create a scenario for register? Verify the working of register functionality. Verify the working of login functionality. Verify the working of logout functionality. Verify the working of forgot password functionality. Verify the working of search functionality. Verify the working of product compare functionality. Verify the working of product display page functionality. Verify the working of add to cart functionality. Verify the working of wishlist functionality. Verify the working of like that. For every functionality that is mentioned here, you are going to create a scenario. Got it? The first one, first test scenario, I am giving an ID. You can see the ID, test scenario underscore 001. You can give 01 also. If you don't have too many scenarios, you can give 01 also. 01 means till 99 you can go, right? 001 means you can go till 999. Okay, anything is fine. I just want to be liberal. I don't want to fix the things. I went with the 001 in this case. Okay, TS means test scenario, short form of test scenario underscore 001. That is the register functionality. TS underscore 002 login functionality. Verify the working of login functionality. TS underscore 003 verify the working of logout functionality. TS underscore 004 verify the working of forgot password functionality. TS005 where you see high level test cases are called as scenarios. Like this, we have to create a list of scenarios in a separate document we generally create in real time. Okay, what you will do in real time, guys? In real time, separate test scenarios document you will create. Okay, in which phase of STLC you will be creating this test scenarios document? Test execution phase, right? Or test designing phase? Which phase? Test designing or test execution phase? In which phase you are going to create these scenarios? Test designing phase, right? Correct. Okay, that's 100% right. Okay, so like this, you will create a separate document containing the list of test scenarios in this format. Okay, this document is already shared to you in the form of notes, right? You can go through this Google Drive here. You can go through that Google Drive here, manual software testing. Here you can see the notes document. You can download that. All the notes are available, guys. You can check everything. Okay, fine. So once you get this document, you can understand how the test scenarios are created. TS underscore 001, verify the working of race. Like this, you have to create the high level test scenarios, guys. And using, how did you create the scenarios? There should be some, the client has not given any BRS document here. Client in this case study one, that is part of the case study one project, client has not given any BRS document. So we are going to use application URL for this purpose, guys. So we are going to use what? Application URL we are going to use. Application URL of the page we have used. This application URL is provided by the client. By looking at this scenarios and all, we have created the scenarios here. Okay. Client has not provided any, BRS document, requirements document. Hence, we have taken the usage. That's why reference is application URL. And here priorities you can mention, guys, according to the priority, which functionality is important. You can give the priorities are P1, P2, P3, P4, like that you can give. Highest priority you can give P1, lowest priority you can give P4, up to you. Okay. And this is what is the thing, guys. Okay, this is what is the thing. Number of test cases you will not be able to immediately provide. Once you create the test cases, once you create the test cases, right? Once you create the test cases for each and every high level test cases, for each and every test scenario which is a high level test case, you have to write the test cases. You see, for login functionality, how many test cases we got, how many test ideas we got, and how we converted to the test case. In one of the previous sessions, I showed you how to generate the test ideas using the Xmind tool I showed you, right? Okay, we worked on them together. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. Remember, right, everyone? How to generate the test ideas and convert them into the test cases is clear, right? We have done them in one of the previous sessions, right? Yeah. We have to generate the test ideas and convert the test ideas into the test cases here. Okay. For example, one of the test idea we got here is verify logging into the application using valid credentials is a test idea. Okay, that test idea is going to be the test case title here. Okay, every test idea or test case will have a every test idea and test case will have a unique ID. TC means test case underscore functionality name. You can give a short form LGN or LG or LN, whatever you want. LF here, LF means login functionality. You can give your own name. Okay, make sure that this code is not matching with any other functionality names. Okay, TC underscore LF underscore login functionality underscore 001 first test case. And here you see this particular test case belong to which scenario? Scenario number 2, TS underscore 002 login functionality scenario it belongs to. You see, it belongs to this particular test case belong to the login functionality. Okay, like that. I have to mention the test scenario ID also here. For which test scenario, high level test case, you are creating the low level test cases, which are the test IDs and test cases here. Okay, we have to write them. Then here we have to write the prerequisites. You don't have to write very detailed prerequisites. At high level, you have to write the prerequisites. Open the application URL in any supported browser. And for testing this particular test case, if you want to perform the testing of the test case, okay, for this login test case, you should have an account for which, okay, you should have the credentials of an account of an existing account. Otherwise, okay, you should create an account in advance, and for that credentials should be available, and you should have that credentials in with you. Okay, that's the thing. Then what we are going to do, test steps will be there. I showed you how to run the test cases, how to mark them as pass fail in one of the previous sessions. Anyhow, I'm not going to cover that. I'm just covering it high level, guys, just as a revision of the test plan document. As per the test strategy, step 1 is creation of test scenarios and test cases for different features in scope. Creation of test scenarios and test cases for the different features in scope. Creation of test scenarios and test cases for different features in scope. So here, test scenarios and then test cases. Okay, test scenarios and test cases. So as part of this, click on My Account drop menu, click on Login option, enter valid email address into the email address field, enter valid password into the password field, click on the Login button. Okay, click on My Account drop menu. First you have to click on what? Click on My Account drop menu. Then we have to select what? Then we have to select Login option. Login option. I showed you how to run the test cases also. Like this, we have to write the test cases, guys. Okay, these are the test steps. This column is test steps. Here, expected results will be there, test data will be there, actual result will be there, priority also you can provide, and result is pass, fail. These 4 statuses will be there: pass, fail, blocked. If you are not tested, not tested. If you are unable to perform testing of this because of another test case, you can simply say blocked, and you can mention the ID of the test case because of which you are unable to perform the testing of this test case. Okay. Otherwise, pass. If it is not working properly, you will generally write actual result which is deviating from the expected result, and then fail it, and you have to report a defect into the backtracking tool. Okay. Already all these things I have shown you. Remember, right? Which backtracking tool I have used, guys, to demonstrate? Which backtracking tool I have used to demonstrate? In one of the previous sessions, I have shown you how to report a defect, right? In the previous weekend only I have done that. What is the backtracking tool? Bagasura. Yes. But taking the screenshots, which tool I have used? For taking the screenshots, which tool I have used? For taking the screenshots, which tool I have used? So this is a project we have created, and for some test cases, we have reported two defects already as a sample. Okay, so if not attended, you can watch the recording, previous sessions recording. Yeah, we have used snipping tool. Yes, correct, which comes by default in the Windows machine. You don't have to install this. Snipping tool is something which comes by default in the Windows machine. Okay, you can use that tool. Great. Then what else then? So let's go back to the test plan document, creation of scenarios and test case for different features in the scope. Okay. So everyone is clear, right? About the scenarios and test cases is clear. Guys, everyone clear about the test scenarios and test cases, which is a part of the step one in the test strategy of the test plan document is clear now. As part of the test strategy, what we are saying, first, before we start any testing, first we are going to create scenarios and get the scenarios reviewed by the client. Once the scenarios are approved, then we are going to create test cases for each and every high level test case that is scenario and then get approved by the client. That's what we are mentioning here in the step one. While creating the scenarios and test cases, mainly the test cases, guys, mainly while creating the test cases, just to impress the client that we follow some best practices and all, we'll write this kind of stuff. Okay, we'll apply several test design techniques while creating the test cases. While creating these test cases, we are going to apply several test design techniques. Okay, let's see. You already have the idea of what test cases are, how to generate the test ideas and all. Now I'm going to at a high level explain about this. At a high level, I'm going to explain about this test design techniques. Everyone type in the chat box test design techniques now. I'm going to explain you about the test design techniques. I want everyone to type test design techniques in the chat box. I want everyone to type test design techniques in the chat box. Yes, test design techniques. What are test design techniques, guys? What are test design techniques? As the name speaks, what are they? These techniques we can use for creating what? These techniques we can use for designing what? With the name, what we can say? If I have to define this test design techniques, what I can say? The techniques that we can use for designing what? Tests, which are nothing but test cases. Okay? The techniques that we can use for designing the tests are nothing but test cases only, right? Techniques that we can use for, what are the different techniques that are there here? Type all these techniques in the chat box, guys, okay? Type all these techniques in the chat box. I'll also type here. Meanwhile, you can also start typing. First one is what? ECP. ECP means equivalence, class, partitioning. Try to type partitioning. Then BVA. BVA is a second technique. That is boundary value analysis. Boundary value analysis. ECP, equivalence class partitioning. BVA, boundary value analysis. What is the next one? ECP, BVA. What is there, guys? Equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table testing, decision table. Equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table. Next one is what? State transition testing. STT. State transition testing. State transition testing. Next what? What is the last one? Use case testing. Use case. Case testing. Equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table, state transition testing, use case testing. How can we use this kind of techniques, different techniques for designing the test cases? First technique, let me explain. Okay, first technique we'll take equivalence class partitioning. For example, assume that there is a text box field. Assume that there is a field, input field. Into this field, you can only enter the number starting from 1 to 25. Okay, you can enter the numbers only from where to where. This field, this input box field, in this text box field or input field will accept only the numbers from 1 to 25 as per the client requirements. Now, how to perform testing? So, just imagine what if I enter 1 here and see the result. Is it accepting or not? Yeah, fine. If it is accepting, I'll enter 2. Then if it is accepting, I'll enter 3. If it is accepting, I'll enter 4. Then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, finally 25. Total 25. After that, I'm not satisfied yet. I'll try to enter something like 26 here. 26. What's happening with 26? I want to see. What will happen, guys? 1 to 25, it will accept. 26 onwards, 26, 27. Is there any limit, guys? Is there any limit? Infinite. There is no limit. Infinite number. I can also go like this. 0, -1, -2, -3, and again infinite. What if? What if I enter something like, alphabets A, B, C, D? It should not accept. It only accepts 1 to 25 only. Okay? And combination of alphabets A, B, B, C, like that. Okay? Or A, B, C. Then some symbols. Dollar, hash. Okay? Exclamatory mark. Okay, like this, lot of data is coming here for me. Now, if I have to perform testing with all these sets of data, infinite number of data, is it possible, guys? Tell me. Is it possible? If I want to test this field with infinite amount of data, can you complete in 1 week? Even 1 year also you will not complete. Single field, how much time you are taking? Is that a good approach? Using all the data for testing is a good approach? No. So what we have to do in that case is we should reduce the amount of, okay, we have to optimize this data and create the test cases in such a way that we are going to use the optimized data. Okay. For that, what we are going to do here is we are going to follow something known as equivalence class partitioning. As part of the equivalence class partitioning, we are going to divide into multiple partitions like this. Okay. We are going to divide that into multiple partitions like this. Let's see. One partition is valid partition, valid partition, partition. Other ones are invalid partition, invalid partition, partition. This is also invalid partition, invalid partition, invalid partition. As part of valid partition, I'll give some random number from 1 to 25, get some random number. Pick one random number. Starting from 1 to 25, pick any random number. Anything. You can type in the chat box if you want. Okay. Yeah, first one I'll take. Let's say 10. Yeah. Anusha has said 10. Yes, I'll take 10. That's enough. I don't have to go with 1 to 25 now. Only one of the valid partition number I have to take, that is 10. That's fine. Now, above 10, what is there? Above 10, invalid partition, right? Take some number above 25. Above 25, give some number. Above 25? Yeah. I got something like, 30 as a example. Yeah, I'll take 30 and test it. Yeah, apart from 30, you can also give something number below 1. Below 1, you can give some number. Yeah, -5, let's say. I got some inputs as -5. I'm taking -5 here. Yes. Another input, invalid partition. You can give alphabets, A, B, C or something. Okay. And you can also go with another invalid partition also. Another invalid partition where, another invalid partition. Invalid partition. Partition. I'll do one thing. I'll just cut this from here. I'll just drag it and make it small. Okay. Invalid partition. You can create any number of invalid partitions, guys, up to you. Okay. The what level you want to perform testing, that level you can provide any. Well, another invalid partition will be, dollar hash exclamatory mark is another some random, invalid thing you take. Like that, any number of invalid partitions you can create. Now tell me, guys, out of infinite sets of data here, how many sets of data has been finalized here? Out of infinite possibility of data here, there's 1 to 25, 26 to infinite number, 0 to infinite minus, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and combination, this is all infinite again, symbols and infinite. Here, how many partitions I got? How many partitions I got? How many sets of data I got? Valid and invalid both combined, you have to tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 1, this 2, this 3, this 4. Total 5 partitions. That means 5 sets of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much time it will take for you to test this field with this sample data? How much time does it take? Will it take the same time or the time will be reduced? Is that a good approach? Less than a minute, right? You can do it. But you can enter, into this field, you can enter -5 and then verify, 10 and verify, 30 and verify, APC and verify, dollar hash, exclamatory mark and verify. Less than a minute, All good, right? Now understood what is advantage of equivalence class partition while designing the test cases? While designing the test cases, you have to also fill the test data. Okay? You see, you may have to write the test case according to the test data sometimes, but if you are going with infinite, that is not possible for you to create. So you have to make it finite. Finite possibility of testing data should be there for designing the test cases. Okay? That will be that help you will get from first design technique, test design technique called as ECP, equivalence class partitioning. But there is a problem with ECP, guys. What is the problem with ECP? This is called as ECP. This is called as ECP, equivalence class partitioning. Okay, equivalence class partitioning. Okay, just let me provide this whenever I create the notes, right? Let me share the notes into the Telegram group so that let me share the notes into the Telegram group. Okay, guys, fine. So here is the thing, right? Finite possibilities are there. But there is a problem. What is the problem with this ECP? Let's assume that the developer has written the code for this field. How the developer has written the code? Just see, observe here. How the developer has written the code for that field. For otherwise, uh, int age is equal to, you can give some age like 15 or something here for now. Let's say in this valid partition, you are given the age as valid partition as 10, right? I'll give 10 here, for example. While age is less than or equal to, while age is 1 to 25, it should accept, right? While age is greater than 1 and age is less than 25, like this I am writing the code. Assume that, okay? While age is greater than 1 and 1 to 25, right? Actually, as per the requirements, 1 to 25, right? For example, if the developer has written the code like this, while age is, or if age is, okay? If age is greater than 1 and age is less than 25, something like that, okay? System.out. I'm just writing code for collecting the input. Else if the age is not matching this criteria, what you are going to do? Reject with a message. Assume that this is a code the developer has written for testing this field. For testing this 1 to 25 field, right? Developer has written this one, okay? Let's assume that developer has written like this, okay? Or we'll do one thing. I'll just drag it till here. Or yeah, this is a code I'll write. Okay. So if this is a code written by the developer for this particular field, and the developer has written the code like this, now let's try -5. Let's try -5. Here in place of the 10, I'm going to try -5. What will happen? The test will pass or fail. Age is greater than 1. Is -5 greater than 1, guys? Is -5 greater than 1? Tell me, guys, is -5 greater than 1? True or false? False, right? It's false. This part is false. But here -5 is less than 25 is true. False and true will become what? 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 False only. If one of the condition is false, the resultant is also false. The if of false means the if block will not be executed. We will go to the else block where reject with a message will come. Reject with a message will come. Reject with a message will come. Once the message gets rejected, what will do? Reject with a message will come. Okay. So in that case, what you are going to do? This correct only coming, right? If you give -5 means invalid partition number means you should get a warning message saying that -5 is not accepted here. What if I give 10 here? Age is 10 means 10 greater than 1 true, 10 less than 25 true. So code for collecting the input. It will collect the code. The input field will accept the code. It's also working fine. Then if I give 30, let's say, in place of 10 or -5, if I give 30, 30 greater than 1, true, but 30 less than 25 false. True and false is false, and reject the message. Okay, it's also working fine. You are getting a message. Everything is working fine. ABC. If I give ABC, okay, this will not work and reject the message. Okay, here ABC, dollar symbols and all. Here reject the message will come. This data is working perfectly fine. What if, what if I give something like 1? What will happen? If I input 1 here, is 1 part of this thing? Is 1 part of this sample data? Guys, is 1 part of the sample data? As part of equivalence class partitioning, did I derive 1 there anywhere? No. 1 I didn't derive. Now what if I ask you to provide 1 here? In place of the 10, you provide 1. 1 greater than 1. True or false? 1 greater than 1. True or false? False. 1 less than 25 is true, but 1 greater than 1 is false. False and true means false. Reject the message. But 1 should be rejected or accepted. In this field, 1 should be accepted or rejected. In this field, 1 should be accepted or rejected. Accepted. But it's getting rejected. What's going wrong? Is ECP working fine for me? In that case, is ECP working fine for me? No. Whatever the data I got for ECP via applying ECP, right, equivalence class partitioning, is not enough for me. What I have to do? No. I'm talking about test design techniques, guys. It's not about defects and all. Yeah, it's a defect though, but understand about the, the possibility of data I'm getting. What if the developer has this kind of mistake? Anyhow, we'll report the defect. But the problem here is, before you move to the defect, can you identify the defect is a problem? With this data, will you be able to identify this particular defect which is coming with 1? With whatever the data you finalize with equivalence class partitioning, can you identify the defect in this code? Can you identify the defect? Yes or no? Using ECP technique, can you identify the defect in this code? No, it's working fine with every data. That's where, guys, BVA will come into picture. Boundary value analysis will come into picture. BVA will come into picture where it will identify 1. How? How means, you see, go with the valid partition. And in the valid partition, the borders are there, right? The borders. What is the border item? 1 to 25 means you write 1 here. 1 plus 1 means 2. 1 minus 1 means 0. These are the border items. Okay, these are the border 0, 1, 2. What about here? Here 10 is there. What I will do? Here last value is 25. I'll write 25 here. Okay, 25 minus 1 is 24. 24 will come. 25 plus 1 is 26 will come. Like this. I'll take the border values. Okay, for valid partition, I'll take the border values. For valid partition, I'll take the border values as 0, 1, 2, 24, 25, 26. Earlier, only 5 sets of data were there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how many sets of data are there? When I include BVA, when I extend this ECP with BVA technique, how many sets of data are coming extra? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 sets of data are coming. How many sets of data are coming? Total, how many sets of extra? 6 sets are coming. 6 plus original 5. BVA, ECP plus BVA, total how many coming? By using this ECP we got 5. BVA we got on the border we got 6. Total how many we got now? 5 plus 6, that is 11. 11 total. Now try this code. Enter 0 here. 0 greater than 1, true or false? 0 greater than 1, true or false? 0 comes into the invalid partition, guys. Okay, 0 comes into the invalid partition. 1 and 2 come into, that's why I'm written here. 26 comes into the invalid partition, where 24, 25 comes into the valid partition. Okay, with 0, it should reject the number. Okay, 0 greater than 1 is false. 0 less than 25 is true. False and true is false. It will reject a message. It's working fine. Then I'll go with the 1, which is coming into the valid partition. I'll enter 1 here. 1 greater than 1 is false. 1 less than 25 is true. False and true is false. Reject. But it should accept. That's where, with the help of this data 1, I'm going to identify the problem in this code written by the developer for building this field. And I'll report a defect here. Do I have to report the defect now? Yes, report the defect. But the defect is identified only with the help of ECP or BVA. In this case, the defect was identified with the help of ECP or BVA. Using which technique you are able to identify the defect? Using BVA. Okay. ECP itself is unable to identify the defect in this code. So I have to go with the boundary value analysis. I have to find the boundary values, and by entering the boundary values also I have to see, because most of the cases the programmer will forget to, in most of the cases what will happen, the programmer will forget to provide, okay, this operator here. Got it? The programmer forgets this equal symbol. The that's where BVA will identify the problem is, okay. Most of the cases programmer will do problems in this code where age greater than or equal to 1 the programmer has to write, but programmer has written age greater than 1 instead of equal to is forgotten by mistake. Programmer has written the code but has forgotten the code by mistake. Age less than or equal to 25, equal to is forgotten by the developer. So what will happen in that case? What will happen in that case, guys? Equal is missing, equal is missing. Programmer got the program, this field will not work properly, and we have identified the defect from the UI layer of the application or API layer of the application and reported the defect to the developer. Developer need to fix the defect. How the developer is going to fix the defect? In this case, how the developer is going to fix the defect? By adding this equal symbols. By adding this equal symbols in the code, the field will work fine. Will accept the proper values going ahead. Right? Yes or no? Programmer will fix the defect by adding the equal symbols into the code. Okay, that's the thing. Got the idea of ECP and BVA, guys? Got the idea of ECP and BVA? Has everyone got the idea of ECP and BVA? Great. Okay. So I'll take a screenshot here again for this ECP and BVA thing. I'll take the screenshot and provide in the Telegram group. Okay, then next one. What is the next one, guys? What is the next item we have here? For tests and techniques, what is the next item we have? Decision table, DT, decision table. Okay. Decision table. What is that? Decision table. What is decision table? Assume that you have tested the login functionality, right? Have you tested the login functionality? You have created some test case for login functionality, right? Okay. So assume that in the login functionality, if you go to the login functionality and derive the test cases here, you can use the decision table. And how many fields are there here? How many values I can pass here to login? 2 values. Okay. Yes. While designing the test cases, for creating the test data for the test cases or to create the number of test cases, we have to use this test design techniques. Got it? While creating the test cases, in order to supply the appropriate test data to the test case documents or to create a good number of test cases, we have to follow this test design techniques. You see, it is a theoretical topic, I know. In real time, things will not ideally will happen. Everything will, we'll be able to understand and write that. But you see, techniques are there. You see, techniques are there that we have to learn it, okay? But in real time, we don't use these techniques actually. But for just for the namesake, we have to say that I have used this technique to write the test case and all, okay? We have to bluff it. Got it right? Ramu, Gandham, clear na? You see, as per the real, ideal case, we have to use this test design techniques to generate the more test cases and test data for the more optimized test data for the test cases. That's real, correct? That's correct only. But what's happening in real time? In real time, people don't generally focus on this test design techniques. I've never seen a software tester use this test design techniques to generate the test case or test data for the test cases. Okay, everything happens on the fly. Okay, but ideally, file sizes. What is the problem with file sizes? What is the problem with file sizes, Ramu? File sizes means what? What do you mean by file sizes? Can you be more detailed? What does file sizes means, Ramu?
Sir, actually, some upload files is there, PDF files
Okay.
and on image files. The
Okay.
sizes like a 2 MB minimum, like more than 2 MB. That restrictions is there, sir.
Okay.
These restrictions are real time. Any tabular wise implemented or not in test cases.
You see, the test ideas will be there, for example, uploading a file functionality is there. In real time, what your tester will do? Tester can use this test design techniques if applicable, okay? If applicable, tester can use this test design techniques, okay? So it depends. It depends, you will not take the sample because in our case, what happened? What is the problem we are facing? We are getting infinite data. For that 1 to 25 accepting field, we are getting infinite data. So in case of the files, will you get infinite data? Tell
Okay,
me.
okay.
You're getting my point, right? Where you have to apply and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not everywhere. It's not everywhere. For each and every small thing you look at and you immediately go and apply the compulsory test design technique need to be. It's not like that. Okay. You see, test design
Okay,
techniques are there to solve a problem. One of the problem we were facing is there was a field which is accepting numbers from 1 to 25. Now, if you have to test a valid also, you have to enter 25 numbers. That is a big list, right? But in case of uploading the file, you may get 3 to 4 file types which are supported by the application. Okay, the 4 files anyhow you will upload as a test case document, right? Test cases, right? Uploading PDF files using upload file functionality in the application, uploading Excel files using the upload file functionality in the application, uploading the image files, okay, PNG files, like that you will write it. But if you have very good number of lists, then you will apply the techniques. Okay, got it? But sometimes what happens is you have to test with each and every valid type. You have to do it. There's no other way. Okay. Maybe what you can do is, in this document is there to be, to work in a proper way. What you can do is, for example, there is one example here. I'll tell you. There's one example, guys. Hmm, maybe password complexity standards or something. I don't remember. Let me see. You see, here I'm giving multiple sets of data here. Yes or no? Verify reaching an
yes.
account by providing an invalid email address. I'll be getting hundreds of invalid emails, right? I have taken only preferred one, priority one. I have taken important one to check whether email field is accepting the proper email formats or not. I want to check. Here I have given 4 formats. Do you have to write this test case 4 times for each and every set of data? Do you have to write this test case for each and every set of data here? Or it's a good idea to write this 4 sets of data under the test case document, test data field column or something. That is better, right? So in your case, if you're testing uploading file with trying to upload different type of files, let's say that's the test case. Here in the test data, what you will write? PDF file, Excel file, PNG file, IMG file, whatever the file. Okay, .exe file, etc. files you will write here. Got it? And perform the testing of the test case document with all sets of data. Got it? Is that clear, Ramu? No? Ramu, is that clear? Okay, great. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Okay, sir.
wherever it is applied, you have to apply, guys. You see, things will not be ideal. That's what I'm saying, right? In real time, you see, I have got good amount of experience. Okay, I have worked in the IT field for 12 plus as a software tester. I resigned as a test lead. Never came a situation where I have used this test design techniques in real time. I never used the test design techniques. Okay, because that was not a compulsion. Ideally, people have to use it, but really people are using means the answer is question mark. Okay, some people may use it if they like, but otherwise it's not useful. Okay, so but as per the knowledge, we have to learn them. Okay, as per the knowledge, we should have the idea. If you are a software tester, manual testing, right, should have this knowledge. Okay, if someone asks you in the interview what is equivalence class partition, you should be ready to explain it. You have to bluff that I know this. Okay, we will use in writing, creating test cases. You have to bluff it. Okay, though you don't use in real time. Okay, that's the situation we have. So this test design techniques will be helpful for you to generate the test ideas. Okay, test ideas will be at the data level. Test ideas will be at the level of test cases, number of test cases. Okay, this will increase the number of test data for testing, or this will increase the number of test cases for testing. So what is the advantage of the decision table testing? Decision table, okay, decision table test design technique is that you see here. If for example you have the login functionality, in the login functionality, email and password are there. So I'll create a table like this. Okay, email, password, and result. What is that? Email, password, and result. So what I'll do here is, here I'll draw something like this. Okay, if I have 2 sets of data, combination of 2 sets of data can be given like this. Okay, valid email, invalid password. What should be the result? I should be able to log in, or warning message should come. Warning message should come. Okay, here warning message should come. Warning message should come. What about this invalid email and valid password? Here also warning message should come. Warning message should come. Okay, then valid email, valid password. Then the user should be allowed to log in. User should be allowed to log in. Then invalid email and invalid password, warning message should come. Warning message should come like that. How many test cases I was able to derive with the help of this decision table for this login functionality? Tell me now. How many test cases I am able to derive now? 4 test cases. Now one of the test cases login with valid email and invalid password, and and the expected result is we should get a warning message. User should not be allowed to login. We should get a warning message. Second test case is first test case is this one. Second test case is login with invalid email and valid password, and user should not be allowed to login, and instead a warning message to come. Third test case is login with valid email and valid password, and user should be allowed to login. Warning message should not come here. Okay. Fourth test case is login with invalid email and invalid password, and we should get a warning message. How many test cases came? So have we written such kind of test case in our test case document? Let's see. If you go to the login functionality, verify login into the application using valid credentials. These are test case. This test case is covered now. First test case is this one. Okay. Second, verify login into the application using invalid email and invalid password. So this test case is also covered. Indirectly, we are covering this also. Okay. Next test case. If in case you miss it, you can use the decision table to find out like you have missed some test cases. Okay. Verify login into the application using invalid email and valid password. Invalid email and valid password. Okay, this one. Next one. Verify login into the application using valid email and invalid password. Valid email and invalid password. Valid email, invalid password. Are these test cases covered in my test case document already? Okay. They state that you have to use decision table to create these test cases, but on the fly also I can create. That's okay, right? If you use decision table, there's a possibility that you can cross check that you have not missed any test case. Okay, you have not missed any test idea. You can cross check with the help of decision table. Everyone clear with the decision table? Everyone clear with the decision table? How to use decision table for designing the test cases or test ideas? Great. This much is enough, guys. You don't have to go behind this. Okay. It's a very theoretical topic, I understand. But, you have to understand one by one. Next one. What is the next one? State transition testing. What is state transition testing? I'm going to cover now. Okay. State transition testing. So take this example only, guys. Take this example. I want to test this example like this. Okay. I'll give valid email and invalid password login. For the first time, I got this. What is the message I'm getting, guys? What is the message I'm getting? Warning, no match for email and or password I'm getting. Second, also I'll give the same wrong password, and second time also I'm getting the same warning message. Third time I'm clicking, same warning message. Fourth time I'm clicking, same warning message. Fifth time I'm clicking, same warning message. Sixth time I'm clicking, same warning message. Seventh time I'm clicking. Is it working or not? I think what is the problem with the confirm resubmission? Okay, it's not clicking, guys. Okay, just try to click. Earlier, I used to get a message. What is happening now? No matter how many times I give that. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just go to login again. I'll give a valid password. I'll give a valid password to login. If it is working or not, I'll check. I'll log out. After logging out, I'll again try to log in. Here, I'll take this and give invalid password. For the first time, I'm getting this warning message. Invalid password again. Second time also warning message. GHI login. Same. Fourth time. Same. Fifth time. Same. Sixth time. You see what happened? Is the warning message got changed? Is the warning message got changed, guys? Yeah, it was not loading earlier. You see, earlier warning mismatch of username password came, but now warning message got different one. Your account has been logged after for 1 hour. It's locked. Okay, if I give a valid password also, it should not work now. Okay, if I give 1 2 3 4 5 also, I should not be able to log in. You see, because my account got locked for 1 hour. The same thing will happen with your ATM card, right? Remember the ATM card? Guys, remember the ATM card? You go to the ATM with your ATM card and try to enter 3 times wrong pin. What will happen? What will happen with your ATM card if you enter the wrong pin for 3 times? It will get blocked for 24 hours, right? Your ATM card will get blocked for 24 hours. For example, this is a state, first state. Okay, state transition testing, right? State transition testing. How to use state transition testing? Testing test design techniques to create the test cases, to create test cases, or to get the test case ideas. This is starting state. Okay. So here itself, the first step itself, you gave correct pin. For ATM card, correct pin you gave. What will happen? Success. Okay, you will be able to do your operation. Done. Then here, wrong pin you have given. Wrong pin. If wrong pin is given, in the first attempt, you have given the wrong pin. In the first attempt, you have given the wrong pin. Then you will be given a second opportunity. You will be given a second opportunity. Right? If you give correct pin for the first time, that's okay. Okay, then wrong pin means second opportunity will be given. Here for the second time, if you give the correct pin, what will happen? If you give the correct pin for the second time, what will happen? Again, success. It doesn't matter. Okay, it should work like this. Now, for second time also, you gave a wrong pin. For second time also, you gave a wrong pin. Wrong pin. Okay, it's not pin, it's pin. I'll remove this part. Okay, wrong pin. Then it will give you the third chance. It will give you the third chance, guys. Okay, it will give you the third chance where you need to enter the correct pin. If you enter the correct pin for the third time, two times wrong pin and third time correct pin, again it will accept. But what if for third time also you gave a wrong pin? For third time also you gave a wrong pin. Here you gave a wrong pin. What will happen? Wrong pin. What will happen? For third time also if you give a wrong pin, then blocked. Okay? Blocked kind of stuff will happen. Okay? So now this is a diagram I have drawn for ATM process. Okay, this is a diagram I have drawn for the ATM process. By looking at the diagram, tell me how many test cases I'll get. By looking at the diagram, we have to say how many test cases we can get. For the first time giving the correct pin. First test case. First time giving the wrong pin. Second test case. Wrong pin and correct pin. This is second test case. First you are giving wrong pin, then you are entering correct pin. This is the first test case, second test case. And here, wrong pin for the first time, wrong pin for the second time, correct pin for the third time. This is another test case, third test case. This is third test case. Then another one I'll take. Wrong pin for the first time, wrong pin for the second time, wrong pin for the third time. Will get blocked. This is a fourth test case. How many test cases I got? How many test cases I got? 4 test cases I got. Okay. So we have to write the test cases like this. For example, if I ask you to write the test cases for this, if I ask you to write the test case for this, what you will write? You see, anyhow, login with valid credentials. Anyhow, it is covered. You don't have to repeat it. Okay. Another test case is give wrong password for the first time, and second time when you try to log in, give the valid one. Okay. Second time when you try to log in, give the valid one. It should work. There's another test case you can create. Then first and second time you give the wrong password. Third attempt you give the right one. Like that, these 4 test cases should be part. If these test cases are missed in your test case document, you can incorporate them. Okay. For example, for testing this login functionality, up to 5 times it is allowing with the wrong pin. 6th time if you give the wrong pin, it's giving this message, your account is getting locked. So you'll be getting around, for 3 attempts you are getting 4 test cases, means for 6 attempts you are getting how many test cases? 7 test cases. Around 7 test cases you will get here. Got it now? Got it, guys? How to derive the test cases using the state transition testing is clear for you? How to derive the test cases using the state transition testing diagram or design technique is clear for everyone. Try to derive the test cases for this one, guys. Okay. So this is an assignment for you. You go to this login functionality, and for this application, you try to derive the test cases. How many attempts are required for getting this warning message, lock message, and how many test cases will come. You draw it. This kind of ATM diagram that I have drawn, right? You should also be able to draw the diagram for this login functionality and see how many test cases you can generate. Okay. Using this test design techniques, you can generate the test cases. So this is called as state transition testing. Okay, this is called as state transition testing. For simplifying the example, I have taken the ATM example where 3 wrong pings are allowed. Okay, but you can use this login functionality to practice. Okay, in the real time. Next, next is what? Next is what? What is the next one, guys? What is the next one we have? Use case testing. Next test design technique is what? Use case testing. Everyone, you already have typed, right? Use case testing, test design technique. What is use case testing, test design technique? Anyone know what is a use case? What is a use case diagrams looks like? Use case diagrams, have you seen? Diagram for hotel or something? Let's see. Images. Just wait. Okay, can you see this, guys? Actors and all those stuff will be there. Attendant is there. Make hotel reservation. Select room. This is one of the use case diagram they have given. Let's assume that this is a use case diagram they have given. Okay, assume that this is a use case diagram that is given to you. By using this use case diagram, can you derive the test cases? A lot of functionalities are mentioned here. Okay. You see, by looking at this use case diagram, can you understand the application functionality and derive the test cases? Sometimes what happens is in real time, the client will not give you this application URL. In our case study one, project one, we got this application URL. We are able to understand how the things are working. But in real time, the client may not give you this real application URL, but the client will give you this use case diagram. Now, can you understand from the use case diagram? Can you understand what is this happening? And can you derive the test cases here? A lot of diagrams are there. That's okay. You see, reception, check room availability. You see, for reception and check room availability, there are a lot of test cases will come. Book the room, reception booking the room for you. A lot of test cases will come. Okay, receive payment. A lot of test cases. Different ways of receiving the payments will be there, like UPI payment, card payments. Okay, different type of payments. Reception should be able to receive the payments, but a lot of test cases will come. Test ideas will come. By using this diagram, without this application also, by using this diagram, guys, I can derive the test cases. That is called as use case testing, nothing much. Yes, we need to understand this use case diagram, okay, and then derive the test cases. That is called as use case testing, nothing more than that. Okay, what is use case testing? The client will give you this kind of use case diagrams, and by using the use case diagrams, you are going to derive the test cases for them by understanding these use case diagrams. So that approach is called as use case testing. Okay, that approach is called as use case testing. So these are the 5 test design techniques that we can use that I have written in the test strategy document to impress the client. Okay, we'll not just create the scenarios and test cases, but we are going to use our expertise in this test design techniques, using which we are going to derive the test case. Now client is happy. Got it? In real time, we don't use, but we'll just mock it to the client saying that we'll use these techniques, and also that all these mumbo jumbo words will be seen by the client and client will get impressed. Okay, that's the only thing, nothing more than that. Next, what we are saying, we also use our expertise in creating test cases by applying the below. We also use our expertise in creating the test cases by not only we'll use these test design techniques to derive the test cases, but also we are going to use our expertise. How can we apply our expertise? How software testers can apply their expertise? You see, not always we have to depend on these test design techniques, right? With our experience also we can derive the test cases. You don't have to understand these test design techniques and then derive. What if you are an experienced tester? Do you use this kind of test design techniques? You will not use. With your experience, on the fly, you will create the test cases. Okay. What are the 2 techniques that you will follow, or approaches, or things that you will follow to have the expertise to generate the test cases with your expertise? Okay. One is error guessing. What is error guessing? Tell me, what is error guessing? Anyone know what is error guessing? What is error guessing? What is error guessing? Error guessing. What is error guessing? Anyone know what is error guessing? Error guessing means from your experience, experience, you know the places in the application where developers will generally do mistakes. Okay, to identify the defects. Okay, to find the defects easily, right? The expertise software testers, the people, the software testers have worked on different applications earlier, can know understand. You see, for example, if an expertise tester, how can I know that? How can I generate some test ideas? Is, you see, I'll directly go to the register functionality, and I know that there's a possibility that the telephone field may not accept. Okay, may accept invalid characters. You see, can the telephone number be like this? Can the telephone number be like this? Can the telephone number can be in alphabets? No, right? But I got a from my experience. From my experience, I want to guess the errors. There's a possibility that this telephone field may accept invalid telephone numbers. Okay. So with that note, I went there and with that note, I went there and tried to give the invalid telephone field and see whether the account is getting created. Should the account should get created, guys? With this invalid telephone number, should the account should get created? Should the account should get created? No. But the account is getting created. But the account is getting created. That means there is a problem. But how come I come to know that that place I can find the defect? Because of my expertise. Got it? A fresher may not be able to think about that possibility, but an experienced person can think about lot of these kind of possibilities, that where exactly the developers will do the mistakes, where exactly the developers will not write a proper code. You see, they'll write the code for phone field, okay, telephone field, but they'll not do all the checks like telephone field should not accept this and all. By default, they'll not do. So initially, as a software tester, I got an idea, that as an expert tester, right, with having a lot of expertise or experience, what I'll do here is I'll immediately go to the functionality and try to give the kind of data. I know that there is a defect hiding here, so by guessing it, I'll try to find out. Okay, most of the cases, my error guessing will be right. So these have the using error guessing also, the testers can generate the test ideas. Okay. One of the test example for this test idea that you will get with error guessing is what? Enter invalid telephone number, say ABCD, into the telephone field and try to create an account. The account should not get created. If the account gets created, there is an error in the application. Got it? So this is one of the technique, guys. Expertise technique that we use to find the defects. Okay. With our experience. Then next one is what? Exploratory testing. Since I have tested a lot of applications earlier, I know how to explore the application in a faster way, in a optimized, in a proper way, strategical way, so that I can find the defects properly. You see, I'm an expert traveler. An expert traveler. I have visited a lot of places, but I didn't visit Goa. Okay, I visited different places like Bali, Vietnam, okay, Singapore, and in India also a lot of places I visited. Like I went to Pune, different vacations I visited. I'm an expert traveler, okay, and vlogger, let's say. Now, a task is given where you have to go to Goa and travel. Will that be difficult for me? If I'm an expert traveler, will that be difficult for me? Easy. I can explore the Goa like this. Because of my previous experiences and all, bad experience and good experience I have with the previous travels, I can plan my Goa travel in a better way because of my experience that I have. But if I am a newbie, a new traveler, I just started my journey, want to start with Goa. Will I be able to travel easily? Plan my travel easily in Goa? No. That's what is the difference. So exploratory testing is good for the experienced tester. That's why I'm saying expertise and all. Okay, for a newcomer, exploratory testing is not the cup of tea for them. But for an expertise or experienced tester, right? Exploratory testing is a good way to go to find a lot of test ideas and testing also at the same time. So we are going to use this advanced testing techniques like error guessing and expert testing to derive the test cases which are not derived with the help of this test design techniques. Okay, static test design techniques. I'm going to use exploratory expertise techniques here to identify more test cases. That are the kind of techniques I'm going to use while creating the test case. I'm saying to the client, I'm trying to impress the client. Okay, and also I'm going to prioritize the test cases. You see, every test case will be prioritized here. Like you see here, I'm prioritizing the scenarios. I'm prioritizing the test cases. Okay, maybe in one of the other sessions, one of the other notes, right? Prioritize test case document is there. In this, it's not there. With the results, there is one document. With the results, some document is there. Okay, you have to go through the other notes in this. If you go through these notes, right, somewhere here, yeah, test execution with test cases. Okay, test case execution results. Yeah, this is the one. If you go to these notes, right, you'll get the test case document having all the results and everything. Okay. If you want to practice testing this test cases, you practice, guys, and cross check your results with my results. Okay, I've already done the execution of the 500 plus test cases of the application and provided the results here. Okay. You see, if you go to the register, you'll find the results here. You see, the priorities also mentioned. You can check the priorities here. You see, I mentioned pass, fail, and all reported the defects. Everything is there here. Okay. Go to different areas of the application and check the results of mine. You also do the testing without looking at this document. You do the testing, guys, and later once you are done with the testing of this test case in the register functionality, cross check your results with my results and see where exactly you are going wrong. Okay. So that you'll get the confidence whether you are able to test properly or not. Okay. That's the assignment I want to give to you guys. Okay. Execute all the 500 test cases, 500 out of 500 test cases, and cross check your results with my results to see whether you are running the test cases properly to identify the defects and problems or not. Okay. That's what is the assignment I'm going to give. Decision table is very simple, possibilities: valid, invalid, invalid, valid, 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 invalid, invalid. Okay. That is decision table. Got it? Got it, Rohit? For example, if you have to test the login functionality, there are four possibilities, right? For example, if you have to test the login functionality, there are four possibilities, four test cases you can derive with the help of decision table. That is valid email, invalid password. What should happen? Warning should come. Then invalid email, valid password. Again, warning should come. Then invalid email, invalid password. Again, warning should come. User should not be logged in with the credentials. Last one is what? Valid email, valid password. We should be able to log in. How many test cases I got now? With the help of decision table, 4. That's what is the decision table. Nothing more than that. Now clear? Rohit Sawant, clear now? Yeah. Right. No, anyway, you see, I cannot tell you where exactly it will be used, but you have to find out the areas, okay? Login is one example only. Whatever the things that I'm giving is an example, guys, okay? Okay, what is the question? Different test data is equal to different test case technique. Doesn't matter like that. You see, using the test design technique, you can generate the test data for your test cases. Okay, you can optimize the test data for your test cases. Okay, for testing purpose, you have to test, but infinite testing is not possible. While test designing, while writing the test ideas, you cannot write, I'll verify all the numbers, infinite numbers for this input field, which will accept 1 to 25. Okay, to optimize the test case in a proper way with proper test data, confined test data, finite test data, otherwise, instead of infinite, it's finite test data if you want to confine. Then you need to use the test design techniques. Clear? Okay, great. Fine. So there are some test design techniques which will help you in finiting the test data for the test cases. Okay, that's what I'm meant to. Okay, next one. Step 1 is clear for everyone. Is step 1 of the test plan document clear for everyone? Step 1 of the test plan document is clear for everyone. Guys, everyone clear with this step 1? Yes, right. Step 2. Step 2 is that our testing process, when we get the application for testing, first testing what we'll perform. I'll explain something to you. Before going there, I'm going to explain something to you, right? So let me draw this diagram as a notes and post this here for your reference. Okay, what I'm saying, you see, developer will build an application, right? For example, this particular application, if the developer has give for testing, what they have to give, guys? They have to develop the code, yes or no? Developers have to develop this particular code, yes or no? Developers have to develop this particular code for developing this application, yes or no? They will develop the code. They will write the code. Developers will write the code. Let's say developers have written the code. Developers, okay, have written the code, and that code they have given you as a version 1. Okay, the developers have given you the version 1. Once the developers have written the code for version 1, to some extent they have written for the application, and they have given this version 1 for testing. Now software testers need to perform testing on this version 1 of the software. Software testers need to perform testing. Testers need to perform testing on the version 1 of the software. Now testers need to perform testing on the version 1 of the software. What should happen, guys? Will the testers will perform in detail testing on the version 1 of the software? Once the developers will send you a build, we generally call this as a build. Everyone type in the chat box build. What does build mean? I'll explain. Build, application build. Developers will write the code and give the application build. Give the build. Generally, we call it as build. Have you received the build from the developers? We could talk like that in the real time. Okay? In real time, in the projects, we talk like this to the developers. Have you sent that build to me for testing? Okay? Like that. Okay? So build. Build will be nothing but, if it is a web application, build will be URL. Simple build is nothing but going to be the URL. If it is a desktop application, it can be exe file. If it is a mobile application, it can be APK file. Got it right? Okay, type of the application, the build type of format will change. For example, in our case, the application is web application. Developers have given the build in this URL format to us. This is our build we got from the developers. Developer has built this application by writing some code. Now we have to check whether this application is working fine or not. But as part of this process, will I do the detailed testing here? Will the software testers will do the detailed testing here? The moment the build is received by the testers, will the software testers will do the detailed testing? No. Testers will first perform something known as smoke testing. Everyone type in the chat box smoke testing. Smoke testing. The first type of testing the testers will perform is what? The moment they receive the build, any version of the build, guys, the moment the developers will send a build for you for testing, version 1 or version 2 or version 3, the first type of testing that we have to perform is what? Smoke testing. Smoke testing means testing the application at a high level. Important areas. Okay? Important areas of the application will be tested at a high level. Main roads. We are testing the main roads. Okay? Simple. At a high level. For example, if I have to perform smoke testing of this application, if I have to perform the smoke testing of this application, how do I perform the smoke testing of this application? How do I perform the smoke testing of this application? If I have to perform the smoke testing of the application, how do I perform the smoke testing of this application? I'll not test the entire application from end to end. I'll not test the application from end to end. Rather, what I'm going to do, I know that in this application, such functionality is important. I'll type HP here, click on search button and see whether such functionality is working. The product is coming in such, it's coming. That's great. That much is enough. I'll not check each and every area of this application functionality. Like whether this option is working, this option is working. I'm not going to check. The basic functionality, such functionality is working or not. Second, I want to check whether I'm able to create an account or not. Okay. I would like to check whether I'm able to create an account or not. Okay. I'll give some account details here. Okay. And gives a telephone number and some password. I'll check it high level. I'll not check each and every test case of the register account functionality. The major one I'll check and click on continue. One important test case, high level test case of this register functionality will check. Okay. Yeah, it's working fine. I'm able to create an account. I'll go to the login functionality now. Okay. I'll go to the login functionality and give the credentials here. Don't know whether this credential is there or not. With invalid credential, we should not be testing this one. We should be having a valid credential. Okay, so I'll just check with another credential, guys. Okay. A Motori Cap 3. I don't know these credentials are working or not, but I'll try. Yeah. So with some valid credentials, I'm able to log in or not. I'll check. I'll not check with invalid credentials and all. I'll only check with the valid credentials to see whether it is working fine or not. What is the next important area I need to check? I'll not check each and every option that is coming here. Rather, other important area for this application is, apart from the search functionality, login and register, is purchasing a product. Okay, placing an order, add to cart, go to this page, add to cart, shopping cart. I'll go to the shopping cart. The shopping cart, a lot of things are there. I'll just remove them, and I'll not fill all these fields. I'll just simply go and check out, continue. You see, I'm checking at a high level, guys. I'm not checking each and every area of the application in depth. Each and every test idea, I'm not checking. I'm just checking whether important areas of the application, major areas, major important functionalities of the application at a high level are working fine or not. I'm checking, and that kind of testing is called as smoke testing. Okay, so order has been placed and all fine. This much is enough, guys. How much time did I take, guys, to test this? To perform the smoke testing of this application, how much time did I take? Just before I perform the smoke testing, right? testing the important functionalities at a high level is smoke testing. How much time did I take for performing the smoke testing? For performing the smoke testing, how much time did I take? I completed already smoke testing. How much time did I take? Less than 5 minutes, right? It's not even 5 minutes for me. In complex applications, maybe maximum 15 minutes you can take. In that 15 minutes, you have to perform smoke testing and tell to the developer that, okay, if the smoke testing, there are two outcomes of the smoke testing. There are two outcomes of the smoke testing. The smoke testing will fail. The smoke testing fails. The smoke testing fails. The important high level, important functionalities of the application at a high level are failing. Then what you will do? You will reject the build. Okay, saying that smoke testing failed, smoke testing has failed. Okay, smoke testing has failed. Then you will reject the build and you'll put an email to the developer saying that so and so version of the build, smoke testing has failed for this version of the software, and we got so and so defects in the major areas of the application. We got the defects because of which the smoke testing has failed and we are rejecting the build. Kindly provide a proper build so that we can perform in-depth testing. Okay, we'll simply email to the developers saying that rejecting the build, we are not going to perform. Okay, the smoke testing fails, we are not going to perform, we are not going to perform in-depth testing. In-depth testing. Okay, the further testing we are not going to continue, guys. Okay, we are going to reject the build, and also we are going to reject the build by sending an email to the developers. Sending an email to the developers saying smoke testing failed due to XYZ defects. How to report the defects, you know, right? Okay, you'll report the defects into the bug tracking tool and attach them to the email and then send it to say that so and so version of the software has been failed for smoke testing. Okay, because there are some problems in the software. So hence we are rejecting the build, we'll say. Okay. Now, what if the smoke testing passes? If the smoke testing fails, this is the situation. If the smoke testing fails, we'll report the defect and this is the situation you are going to face. What if the smoke testing? What if the smoke testing passed? Then what is that you are going to take care of? If the smoke testing passed, then we are going to continue in software testers are going to continue in-depth testing. In-depth testing. Got it? Software testers are going to continue the in-depth testing. Right? Correct. Clear, na? Okay. Everyone clear with the smoke testing? Any questions here? In case of smoke testing, it is clear. What is that you are talking, Del? Your name is Del? I am seeing some comment from a Del, chat from a Del. You can rename yourself with some name so that I can call you properly. Are you saying something or asking the question? Hello?
Hi, Arun sir.
Yeah. What's your name?
This is Srinivas.
Okay, Srinivas, tell me what is the problem?
Yeah,
I mean, you have any question?
after smoke testing, we'll be going with further testing, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you
Yes.
what exactly as part of further testing I'm going to cover. Okay,
Sure,
don't worry for now. Okay, so
Okay.
for now only smoke testing I'm covering. For
Sure.
example, you have received the build and the build got failed. You are going to reject the build. With this, all this stuff will happen. Okay, if the smoke testing pass, we are going to continue in-depth testing. What is going to be continued as part of in-depth testing? I'm going to cover that. Okay.
Thank you.
As part of the in-depth testing, what you are going to do? As part of the in-depth testing, the first testing that you are going to do as part of if the smoke testing passed and you have not rejected the build back to the developers, in that case, as part of the continuation of the in-depth testing, the first testing that you are going to perform here is retesting. Got it? What is that? What is the testing type that you are going to perform next? If the smoke testing passed for the build and the build is eligible for further testing, then what is the next testing that you are going to perform? Retesting. Exploratory testing is different and smoke testing is different, Vinod. You cannot combine them. Okay. Yeah, smoke testing, you like get the idea, right? Anyone knows, okay? Exploratory as a concept is completely different, okay? Smoke testing is high level, important areas of the application functionality. At a high level, you are testing is smoke testing. Though it will be done in exploratory way, but you cannot term it as exploratory testing there, okay? because that doesn't take much time, right? Everyone knows, what are the important areas of the application, and you are just testing the high level, at a high level, you are testing the important areas of the application. Okay, you are not going in depth. For example, login functionality is an important area of the application. Login functionality is an important functionality of the application. You are not checking all the test cases of the login functionality. You are giving valid credentials and testing. Okay, you are just giving valid credentials and testing. That's enough. I don't want to check with invalid credentials, valid email, invalid password, invalid email and valid password. I'm not going to check all those stuff. I'm checking at a high level whether important areas of the application are working or not. Okay. You see, before you check any car working fine or not, you have to see whether you are able to start the car or not. If the car itself is not starting, can you test how much fast, how much maximum speed we can travel in the car, how much low speed at which we can travel in the car? Okay, are the gears working in the car or not? Can we check? Just imagine a car, you are given a car for testing. The car itself is not moving. Can you check anything? By driving the car only you can check, right? If the major area of the car is not working, like you cannot, start the car, then you cannot go for further testing of the car, right? The car need to start and start moving, then only you can. Okay, that's the one. Simple here also. When you receive a build, okay, the important areas of the application or build should work so that we can go for further testing. Okay, if they don't work, we should not go for further testing. Rather, we should reject the build saying that the important areas of the application are not working, so I cannot go for further testing. So I'll wait for the next version of the software. Okay, like that we'll say, until that we'll explore whatever it is there. We are not going to report any defects and all because the major areas are not working. So how can I check the entire area of the application? That's what is the thing. Simple. So let's assume that smoke testing got passed. Let's say car is moving. Okay, let's say the car is moving. Then I can go with the detailed testing, right? So as part of the in-depth testing, the next testing I generally prefer here is retesting. Okay, smoke testing is passed. The next testing I'll take up is first testing is smoke testing. Then if smoke testing passes, then only I'll go for retesting. What is retesting? You remember, right? Earlier we have reported the defects. Okay. In the Bagasura tool, we have reported some defects. If you remember, in one of the previous sessions, we have reported the defects already. Okay. There are some defects we have reported here. There are some defects we have reported here. Okay. So if you go to these defects, okay, if you go to this particular defects, let's assume that this is a defect. The developer has looked into the defect. Let's assume that the developer has looked into the defect and marked the defect as fixed. Developer has marked it as what? Developer has marked this particular defect as fixed in so and so version of the software. Okay, here developer has provided some comments also. Fixed the defect in version 2 of the software. Like this, if the developer has said, if the smoke testing has passed, and this is a version we got. Okay, whatever the developer is saying that the particular version we got, let's assume that this is a version 2. This is a version 2, assume that for a while. Okay, if that particular defect is mentioned as fixed in that particular version 2, and this is a version 2, let's say, when smoke testing of the version 2 is passed, assume that. Okay, then as part of retesting, what you will do? The software testers have to go to these particular defects and have to reproduce these defects to see whether the developers have properly fixed the defects or not. We have to confirm. Okay. No. That's not correct, Anusha. So I'm talking about different possibility. If the smoke testing passed, if the smoke testing failed, we are going to stop the testing. No more testing. Okay. We have to get the version 2 of the software. We are going to get the version 2 of the software. Let's assume that in the, getting my point right, Anusha? Don't worry about versions for a while. I'm just telling you what you are going to do if the smoke testing fails and what you are going to do if the smoke testing passes. That's the only thing I'm covering here. Okay. If the smoke testing passes, the next testing I'm going to see is in this particular version, is the developer stating that any particular defects, any particular defects which were reported in the previous version 0 or something, were fixed in this version or not, I am going to check. Let's assume that the report defects reported in the version 1. Let's assume that this version 0. Assume that this is version 0. The defect is reported on the version 0 and developer has fixed the code Okay, and they have fixed in the version 1 of the software. Let's assume for a while. Okay, fixed the defect in version 1 of the software, but the defect was identified in the version 0 of the software. Now, since the smoke testing has passed, here, if in case the smoke testing passes, if you are not reject, will not reject the build, right? If smoke testing passes, we are not going to reject the build. We are going to continue that in-depth testing. As part of continuing the in-depth testing, first testing that we are going to perform is retesting. Okay. As part of retesting, what we are going to do, developer is now stating that this particular defect has been fixed. Okay. Here, when you go to the Bugger tool or whatever it is, okay, you can filter the defects here. Click on here and simply say status is fixed. I want to get only the fixed defects. Out of all the defects, only this defect is stated as fixed by developer. I'll open that fixed defect. And as a software tester, have to cross check. You see, I gave an example earlier, right? A plumber example. Okay. At your house, there is one tap. The tap is not working properly. Some leakage is happening in the tap. What you will do, guys? You'll report the problem to whom? You'll call someone. Who is that guy? Who is that guy that you will call? If a particular tap at your house is not working, one of the taps at your house is not working, you'll call the plumber. Yes, plumber is the right answer. Okay, you'll call the plumber. Here in our case, assume that for a while, plumber is nothing but the developer. Okay, we are the household. We are staying in the house. We are the owner of the house. We own the tap and all. But plumber is the one who need to fix the problems, if any, we face. Okay. So in our house, one tap is not working. So I immediately call the plumber and plumber came to my house. That means I reported the problem to the plumber already. I reported the problem to the plumber guys, saying that so and so XYZ tap is not working at my house. Please come. The plumber came. Okay. I explained the plumber the problem. This is what is happening with my tap, and the plumbers, by reporting this defect, I explained the developer or plumber, the problem with all the steps I have explained to the developer. Okay, developer understood the problem, and the plumber, assume that in our case, plumber has started fixing the problem. Okay, plumber has started fixing the problem. That is why the leakage is happening, where exactly internally he'll open up an entire tap to see why the leakage is happening, and he'll try to fix the tap. Now he cracked the solution for solving the problem of the tap because of his experience as a developer. He know how to fix the problems. He fixed the tap problem. Now, once he has done fixing the problem, now developer will mark it as fixed in our case. Okay, like the plumber will again, call you, madam, come here, madam. Yeah, the problem has been fixed. Now you can check. Right? Similarly, developer also will say that the defect that you have reported in version 0 of the software, I have fixed it in the version 1 of the software. Now you can check in the version 1 of the software. Okay. So in the version 0 of the software, we have reported the defect. Let's assume that here the testers have reported the defect. That defect has been fixed by developers, and that fixed code is put into the version 1 of the software. And if the smoke testing has passed, we'll continue with the in-depth testing as part of retesting, right? We'll retest the defects. As part of retesting, what we are going to do? We are going to retest the defects. Recheck the defects. Retesting means rechecking the defects. What is retesting, guys? What is meant by retesting? Smoke testing, you understood, right? Important areas of the application will be tested at a high level is called as smoke testing. If it passes, we'll continue with in-depth testing, where we are going to perform retesting, where the testers are going to perform retesting, where they are going to check the fixed defects as stated as defects which are stated as fixed by developers in the version of the software, okay, in which they are stated as fixed. Assume that in the version 1 only this particular defect got fixed. Okay, we'll retest the defects. Okay, retesting the defects means what? Rechecking the defects. Rechecking the defects to see whether they are properly fixed by developers is called as retesting. What is retesting, guys? Rechecking the earlier reported defects to see whether they are properly fixed by developers is called as, yes, testing for resolved issues. The developers are stating that the issue got resolved, but are they really resolved or not? You see, as an owner, I called the plumber. Plumber has said that he has fixed the problem, but the plumber has, instead of directly saying that it's fixed and going away to home, the plumber going to his home, what the plumber will say is, okay, he'll call the owner and say that, I fixed the problem. Now you can come and check. Now, as part of retesting, the owner will try to use the tap in all the ways possible. After that, owner will try to use the tap to see whether the problem that I have stated earlier is working fine or not, is fixed properly or not. I'll check. the problem is properly fixed, what I will do? I'll close the defect and all. Okay. But this process is called as retesting, guys. Okay. You don't worry about the states of the defect and all. No. But I'm just checking, telling you that, I'll call the plumber. Plumber will come and fix the problem. And once the plumber says that the problem is fixed, I'll cross check. I'll cross check whether the plumber has really fixed the problem or not. If the problem is really fixed, I'll say, take this money and go away. I'll say to the plumber, thank you. You have fixed the problem nicely. Okay. If I have any other problems in the coming days, I'll call you back. I'll say that. But if while the plumber has stated that the tap has been fixed, but when I cross checked it, it's not working for me. I'll say that okay, this direction also some water is coming out, it's still leaking. Can you fix it properly? I'll say, right? Until the problem is fixed, I have to perform retesting, right? The plumber need to fix it, I need to recheck. This process will continue, and this process where the software tester is rechecking the defects which are stated as fixed or resolved by the developers are really fixed or not, I want to cross check. If they're really fixed, I'll close the defects. If they're not fixed, I'll again assign the same task to the plumber saying that the problem is not fixed. To fix it properly, I'll say. Right? This is what is retesting means. Got it, guys? Everyone clear what is retesting now? Any questions here? Anyone have not understood retesting? Let me know. If you have understood, just type C in the chat box, guys. If you have understood, just type C in the chat box. If you have understood, just type C in the chat box. This is called as retesting. In your day-to-day life also same things will happen, guys. Everyone uses internet connection, right? Everyone has an internet connection, guys. We'll use a router at our house, right? You see, sometimes what will happen? Internet will go down. What you will do? If the internet goes down, what you will do? As a user of the internet, what you will do? You will report a ticket. You will raise a ticket saying that at my house internet is not working for your so and so vendor. You will raise a ticket. The vendor will come and cross check all the things why it is not working for you and say that yeah, now you can check your internet, it is working fine. If the internet is properly coming for you with the proper speed and all, then you will say that you will close the ticket. Otherwise, you will again say that okay, this problem is not solved for me. Can you recheck again? Okay, can you fix it properly again? Until the internet problem is solved for you, you'll keep checking with the developer, right? And the process where you are rechecking whether the originally raised problem is really fixed or not is called as retesting. Simple. Okay. As part of rechecking or retesting, we are rechecking whether the defects which are stated as fixed by developers are properly fixed by them or not. Is called as rechecking or retesting. Yes, if smoke testing is passed, we go for the retesting next. Okay, if smoke testing is passed, the second thing that we are going to do in software testing is retesting. Assume that smoke testing is passed, retesting is also completed. What is the next type of testing you are going to perform? After retesting is done, what is the next testing you are going to perform? If retesting is also done, the task is done as part of retesting, you checked all the defects stated as fixed by developers and you have either closed them or reassessed and back to the developers. What is the next type of testing you are going to perform next? The next type of testing that you are going to perform is nothing but sanity testing. What is the type of the testing you are going to perform next, guys? The next type of testing that you are going to perform next is what? Sanity testing. We are going to perform sanity testing next. We are going to perform sanity testing next. Sanity testing we are going to perform next, guys. Okay. What do you perform as part of sanity testing? What you will check as part of what you test as part of sanity testing? Okay. Developer code changed areas will be tested in depth. Tested in depth. As part of sanity testing, what you are going to do? As part of sanity testing, as part of retesting, you will do this. As part of sanity testing, what you are doing? This one. Developer code changed areas will be tested. Why the developer have to change the code in the application build? From the version 0 to version 1 or version 1 to version 2, why the developer have to change the code changes? What are the different reasons? Why the developer? Now tell me, guys, you just tell me. Don't worry about sanity testing now, but tell me what may be the reasons why developers have to do code changes. Yes, bug fixes is one example. New features, yes. If the developer has to develop some new features in the application, they have to change the code or modify the existing features, okay, or remove the features. Any of this will result in code changes, yes or no? Developers for adding new functionalities to the application, okay, or to fix the code, to modify the functionalities of the application as per the changed client requirements, or if the client doesn't want this functionality, to remove that. Okay, changes will happen in the application. According to the change requests and the defects fixes and all, developers will change the code. Developers will not change the entire code of the application every time. Developers will not change the entire application code. Developers will change the code of a login functionality. Let's assume that because of a defect fix or new feature added to the login functionality, developers somehow in the version 1 of the software has changed the code for login functionality. They have touched the code for login functionality. Now what happens after you perform retesting and all, second sanity testing will start. Okay, first smoke testing, after that retesting. When you continue with the in-depth testing, retesting will come first, then sanity testing will come second, where you need to talk to the developer, identify that what are the areas of the application functionalities where you have changed the code, you need to somehow get it. Okay, by looking at the fixed defects or by talking to the developer, somehow you'll get to know that these are the areas of the application functionality that the developer has changed the code. That areas of the application functionality where the developer code changes happen. Once you identify them, you have to test them in what? At what level you have to test, guys? At what level you have to perform testing of that functional areas? For example, if the developer have changed the login functionality related code, then what I will do? I will run all the test cases of this login functionality. If the developer code changes happen for bug fixing or new changes or change request or anything, I need to run complete 23 out of 23 test cases along with the exploratory testing I need to do on the login functionality of the application. Got it? And that kind of testing where you are specially focusing on the areas of the application where the developer code changes happen and where you are testing all the test cases of that particular areas of the application where the code changes happened by the developer. That kind of testing is called as sanity testing. Clear? Everyone clear? What is sanity testing is clear for everyone? We are only running the entire test cases of the only areas of the application where developer code changes happen. That is called as sanity testing. But here, if the code changes happen for login functionality, but there are a lot of other functionalities, register, logout. Apart from the login, we also have register, logout, forgot password search. Are we going to test them in depth as part of sanity testing? If the code changes happen in login functionality, we are going to run all the test cases of the login functionality only. We are not going to that other functionalities as part of sanity testing. If you are testing the entire login functionality in depth, all the test cases of login functionality in depth for login functionality to see whether because of the code changes or bug fixes, yes, correct. That is called a sanity. Right, Vinod? You are right. 100% right. Clear, right? Now, after the sanity testing is also done, the next priority I'll give for the testing is for regression testing. Regression testing means complete testing, guys. Regression testing. What is regression testing? Regression testing means complete testing. Okay, I'll give an example for regression testing, why regression testing need to be performed. Let's say you got a headache. Let's assume that you got a headache. So very severe headache you got. So what you decided is you want to visit a hospital. You went to the hospital to visit a doctor. You took the appointment. You got the appointment and you visited the doctor. And when the doctor was asking you what is the problem is, you said that I got a severe headache, doctor, and it's not going away. So I came to you so that I can explain my symptoms and all. You explained all your problems to the doctor, and doctor has prescribed some medicines. Okay, by looking at the severity of the headache you have, doctor has prescribed some medicine for you, and you have taken the medicine. You have purchased the medicine and came home, and for a week of time, the doctor has given the medicine. You have used the medicine for complete 7 days. Let's assume for a week of time, it's completed. Now, thing is that whatever the doctor medicine has given is being properly working. That means headache is gone for you. The headache has been gone, but a new problem arises. That is, you are now facing the stomachache. After using the tablets, as part of the side effects of the tablets, using the tablets for solving your headache, a new problem got introduced into your body. That is, you got stomachache. Got it? Earlier, your stomach was fine, right? Guys, doctor has given the medication for fixing your headache. But as part of side effect, what happened? Earlier area of your body, which is stomach, which was working earlier fine, now got affected. Got it? So the same thing will happen for the application also. If you have reported a problem for login functionality and developer has fixed the problem in login functionality, but now register account functionality and logout functionality are not working for you. But register and login logout functionality were working earlier in the previous version of the software, but they are not working for you right now. So what is the problem here? What is the problem here, guys? What is regression testing then? Testing performed to check whether any side effects introduced in earlier working areas of the application is called as regression testing. Got it? Now, what you are going to do here is, as part of application, what you are going to do here is, developer has fixed some code for login functionality, but because of the side effects of this code changes, other areas of the application like add to cart functionality or some wishlist functionality got affected, let's assume. But those functionalities were working fine in the previous version of the software. But now tell me, if you don't perform the regression testing, in the version 0 of the software, if the wishlist functionality is working fine, add to cart functionality is working fine, okay, now you got the version 1 of the software, and can you assume that since in version 0 of the software wishlist and add to cart functionalities are working fine, now can you assume that in the version 1 of the software they will work fine without any problem? Can you assume? No. Okay, when some code changes happen to any area of the application, any functional area of the application, any small code change happens, you have to cross check the entire application functionalities to see if there are any side effects resulted by these code changes by the developer because of fixing the defects or because of this change request or new functionalities got coded or whatever it may be. Somehow developer has modified the code of so and so area of the application, and side effects may result in any other area of the application which were working earlier for us. So that means for every version of the software, do you have to perform regression testing, yes or no? Version is given because some code, you see, from version 0 to version 1, some code changes will happen definitely. Then only it's called as version 1. What is the difference between version 1 and version 2? Some code changes happen, bug fixing or code changes, then only we'll get the version 2. For every version you will receive, you have to perform regression testing at the end. If smoke testing passes, first you have to perform retesting. Smoke retesting passes, you have to identify the areas of the application where the code changes happen. That areas you have to first, as a priority, you have to test in depth. That is called as sanity testing. Once sanity testing is also passed or is working fine, you will go for the regression testing. Okay. You also have to perform regression testing to see because of this code changes in so and so areas of the application, any other areas which are working earlier are affected with because of the side effects came or into the other areas of the application. Are they stopped working? Earlier working functionalities have stopped working for us or not? We have to cross check, and that is called as regression testing. Yes, Avirup, yes, correct. For code changes happen in login functionality, only login functionality test cases you have to test as part of sanity testing. But as part of regression testing, you have to test all the areas of the application. Got it? Avirup, clear?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. As part of sanity testing, those areas of application for which code got changed, we need to test in depth. But here, once the sanity testing is done, we'll go for regression testing. We are going to check whether any other areas of the application which are working earlier are got affected by the code changes or not. Okay. Any side effects got introduced into the other areas because of the login functionality, code changes, forgot password code changes, forgot password functionality got affected or not. I want to check. Entire application we have to, simple regression testing means entire application you have to test. That means here, as part of regression testing, since the code changes happen in login functionality, we should not think that I should not test register. As part of regression testing, I'll test all the regression test cases. Okay, all the test cases in the register account functionality I'll test. All the test cases in login functionality I'll test. This is already covered as part of sanity testing. You can ignore this. Then you can go for the logout functionality and see whether all test cases are in the logout are working fine or not. Password. I'll test each and every functionality of the complete application. I'm going to test as part of regression testing to see if there are any side effects got introduced because of the code changes in so and so areas of the application. Okay, got it? Any side effects got introduced
Yes,
into
sir.
the other areas of the application which are working fine earlier. I have to repeatedly do this. You see, that means, tell me guys, for every version of the software, every test case of this application do I have to test? From every functionality of the application, every test case I have to test or not? Often, every version of the software you have to do it. We have to test regression testing for every version of the software. Parth, So regressions, how often it is done? For every, how often means the answer is for every version of the software, every build you get from the developers, you have to perform regression testing. But the order is like this. First, you'll not directly go to regression testing. First, you'll perform smoke testing. Smoke testing fails, you'll reject the build. You'll not continue with the in-depth testing. Smoke testing passes only. You'll then perform retesting where you'll recheck the defects. If they are stated as fixed by developers, are they really fixed or not? You'll check. Once that is done, you'll go and talk to the developers and see the code changes that happened and all in different ways and see what areas code changes have been done, and those areas you are going to completely in-depth your test. That is called sanity testing. After sanity testing is completed, you'll go for regression testing where irrespective of where the code changes happen, entire application you are going to check to see if any side effects got introduced into any other areas of the application which are working fine earlier. That is called as regression testing. That means all the 500 tests, for example, in this document has 500 test cases, right? For every version of the software, 500 test cases I need to keep running. That is regression testing. Okay. Generally, in real time, this regression testing is automated, guys. We automate the regression testing. Why? Why we have to automate regression testing? We have to automate the regression testing, guys. Okay. Regression testing is automated. Regression testing is automated generally. Why we have to automate? For example, every day you're getting one version of the software. Yesterday you got version 1. Tomorrow you got version. Today you got version 2. Tomorrow you will get version 3. Day after tomorrow you will get version 4. Is it possible for you to run 500 test case every day? Is it possible for you to run 500 test case every day on every version of the software? No. So what we do is we'll run the automation scripts for every small change in the lot of advantages for automation is there. I'll not cover that now. We have another topic known as Selenium Java automation, right? During that concept, I'll explain why automation testing is required, why we have to automate the at a high level. You try to understand that manually software testers cannot run the same test cases again and again for same different version of the software. If very frequently if the versions are getting released to you for testing purpose, developers are giving you version 1, version 2 every day. Is it possible for us to perform entire regression testing for every version of the software? It is not possible, right? So we don't get time also, and it's very boring also. At the same time, it's very boring. Every day you have to test every test case instead of you focusing on important areas of the application where you have to work on to identify the defects and all. Every day you are going to do the same checklist from starting to ending. Okay, that's a very tedious process, right? That's where automation will come into picture. The main reason why we go for automation testing in real time is for automating the regression testing. Got it? To accommodate this regression testing as part of test coverage, we have to automate it, guys. Okay, without automation, regression testing is going to be very difficult for us. Got it? Clear, everyone? Everyone clear with the regression testing? Right? At a high level, understand the regression testing. Let's not go in depth why it should be automated, when it should be automated, and all I'll cover later. During Selenium automation concepts, I'll cover that. But at a high level, you should be in a position to understand why automation testing is required, guys. Okay. So this diagram I'll share you. Now tomorrow, if you get the version 2 of the software, what is the first testing you are going to perform? What is the first testing type you are going to perform here once you get the version 2? Tell me. Yes, first you have to perform smoke. Again, every version of the software you have to start with smoke testing only, guys. Smoke testing passes only. You have to go for again. Smoke testing passes. You have to continue testing. Smoke testing passes. You have to continue testing. As part of continue testing, you are going to perform retesting, sanity testing, regression testing, and so on. Got it? Clear? This happens for every version of the software. Okay, we are going to perform testing in several cycles, and as part of several cycles, every version of the software, first you have to perform smoke testing. If it fails, you have to reject the build and wait for the next version of the software. And if smoke testing passes for that particular version of the software, you have to pass. If it passes, we'll go for in-depth testing. We're going to perform retesting, then sanity testing, and the entire testing finally, that is regression testing, to see if any side effects are there or not. The same example I gave with you, the doctor-patient example, right? You got a headache, you went to the doctor prescribed some medicines, you came back and used the medicines, headache is gone, but I got the stomachache. You see, this is how the side effects will come. Same thing with the application also. So you have to remember like this, okay? So I have to scan my entire body. After taking the medication, I have to scan my entire body to see where I got the side effects, okay? So as part of sanity testing and regression testing, if you get any defects, you will report the defects. Simple, that you know that, right? As part of sanity testing and regression testing, if you get any defects, you'll report the defects. Okay? As part of sanity testing and regression testing, if you get any defects, you'll report the defects. Now go to the test plan document, understand whatever I covered is clear for you or not. Firstly, we'll perform what type of testing? Our testing process, when we get the application for testing, what is the first testing we are going to perform? Smoke testing to check whether the different and important functionalities of application are working fine or not. Just give me a second. Okay. It doesn't matter release or before release and after release, it doesn't matter. For every version of the software, you have to test screening. Clear? For every version, simple rule is that for every version, don't worry about releases and all the stuff. Okay. For every version of the software, you have to release. For every version of the build you receive from the developers, you have to perform regression testing at the end. Okay. First, you have to start with smoke testing. If it passes, you have to go for retesting. Then you have to go for sanity testing. If that is also done, you have to go for regression testing to see if any side effects got introduced because of the code changes happened in the current version of the software. Okay, that is a regression testing where you are going to run all the test cases. Okay, entire test cases you are going to run. Okay, and generally the regression testing is automated. Generally, the regression testing is automated because testers will not get enough time for running all the test cases for every version of the software, and also it is a tedious process, boring process. The testers would not like to have do it. Okay, so that's the thing. So here, same process I explained here. You see. Whatever I explained just now in the diagram, right? The same is explained here. I'm explaining to the client as part of the test plan document that, as part of the test plan document, I'm saying that as part of our test strategy, after I create a scenarios and test cases, I'll perform testing. First, when I receive an application for testing, first we'll perform smoke testing. Then, if the smoke testing is fails, we'll reject the build. And if the smoke testing passes, we'll perform in-depth testing. Multiple resources will be performing testing on the same application on multiple supported environments. Since multiple environments are there, for example, this same application need to be tested on so and so environments. Can a single person can perform testing of these functionalities in all the environments by himself or herself? Only one person can do all the testing in all the environments in real time. Do you think will that be possible? No, right? It won't be possible for a single person to check the same application. Even one environment also is not possible because all 500 test case, how can you test, right? You are automating it, right? So what we do in real time is if you have a lot of environments, according to the number of environments, right, number of resources will be there. So for example, the person A will be testing on this environment, person B will be testing on this environment, person C software tester will be testing on this environment. Person D will be tester D will be testing on this one. Tester E will be testing on like that. Every tester will according to bandwidth and all divide the test environments as per the project and all, and then perform the testing. And that's how the testing will be performed in real time, guys. Simultaneously, different testers. Okay, assume just visualize, guys. Okay, try to visualize in a project. I will not be the only tester, right? I'll be having other co-testers with me. Okay. Since we have different test environments, I'll pick one environment, other tester will pick another environment, or test lead will give you the environment in which you have to perform tester and ask you to perform testing, everyone to perform testing on so and so environments. And parallelly, we all software testers will start testing on different environments parallelly. And while doing the testing, right? Okay. I'll be checking Windows machine, other tester will be checking Mac machine like that. Okay. Different test environments will be checking. That's how the things will happen in real time. Just try to visualize that. And then while performing the testing, right, as part of if smoke testing passes, we'll perform retesting, sanity testing, regression testing. As part of sanity testing and regression testing, if you identify any defects, what you will do? If you identify any defects, what you will do? We'll report the bugs into the tools like Zoho or Bagasura. Whatever the tool I have explained, use a Bagasura tool, right? Such kind of tools we'll use for as per the client requirements. We'll choose the tools and report the defects into the tools. And at the end of the day, the software tester or test lead who is responsible for the project will prepare an email containing the list of defects identified. Okay, on that particular day, as part of what testing has been performed and what defects have been identified, and okay, the IDs and all those stuff they are drafted in the email and will be sent to the client. I'll show you some sample emails later. For now, just go with the flow. This is a test plan document, right? That's enough. Okay. As part of testing, we'll perform the below types of testing. First, we'll perform smoke testing, then retesting, then sanity testing, and followed by regression testing. And also other type of testing also exists like usability testing, UI testing, and accessibility. Everyone know what is UI testing, right? Yesterday only I covered the UI testing, right? Everyone remember the UI testing part? Everyone remember the UI testing part? Yesterday I covered the UI testing. From the presentation layer, checking whether the colors, formats, fonts, spelling mistakes are correct or not. That is user interface part is UI testing. Okay, I'm just writing, we'll also perform. What is usability then? What is usability testing, guys? Then what is usability testing? What is usability testing? Usability testing. What is usability testing? Anyone know what is usability testing? How easy is it for the user to use the application? Okay. Testing, how easy it is for the user to use the application. Okay. Testing to check whether how easy it is for you to use the application is, how user friendly the application is, how easy it is for the user to use the application is called as usability testing, guys. Okay. Got it? The application is user friendly or not for using or not. Okay. For example, if you go to ATM, any ATM, and if you feel very difficult in withdrawing the amount, okay, you're getting confused. The ATM is confusing you. Sometimes some ads are coming, they're disturbing you, and you don't know whether to select yes or no. Then usability testing is passed or failed in that case. You go to the ATM, and any novice user should be able to put the ATM card and select the simple options and should be able to withdraw the money and check the balance and come out. But what if some extra functionalities are coming which are disturbing you? You're not able to understand whether to select yes or no on the screen, ATM screen. Then you can say that the usability testing of that particular ATM software has failed. Got it? That is usability testing, guys. Okay, that's what is called as usability testing, to check whether how easy it is for the user to use the application. For example, I'll give an example also. Okay, I'll give an example. Roughly, I gave an example at a high level. Another example I'll give you. Let's say, guys, you have a bank account with a bank. In that bank, you have created an account with the bank, but you have multiple accounts with the bank. Okay, you have multiple accounts. Okay, phone pay latest functionality is not good. It's disturbing, right? Some notification is coming, I think so. Yeah, it's disturbing the users. You don't know whether to select that option coming on the screen. And I know, correct. Yeah. You see, assume that you have an account with the bank. You have multiple accounts with the bank. You can have multiple accounts with the same bank, right? So if you have multiple accounts with the banks, the bank people have decided to, when you log into your net banking software, the bank people have decided that, they want to display a drop down. Okay. Instead of you log in with every account, right, you can log into your customer ID to which all the bank accounts will be mapped. Once you log into with the customer ID and all, you should see a drop down field on your dashboard. When you select the options, right, option 1 should come, option 2 should come, like that. Okay, option 1 should come, option 2 should come. This is your first account, second account, like that should come. This is okay. If you have multiple accounts, this is okay. What if the user has only one account? Still you are getting the drop down field. Even for one account also you are getting a drop down field. Is that a usability feature is good or bad in this case? Only for one account also you are getting the drop down field. Can I suggest the client that usability of this application can be improved now? When there are two accounts or more than one account, the drop-down field is very good. But only one account is there. Why should I confuse the user with the drop-down field to make him complex situation? Right? Getting my point? Maybe for the user having only one account with the bank, directly I'll display all the account details here directly. User don't have to select any option from the drop-down field. This is a usability problem. This is one of the example of the usability problem where, okay, one simple example I'm giving you, how, you see, your intention is to make the user use application in as easy way as possible. Okay, the application should become as easy as possible for the user is your intention. The problem statement can be anything, but ultimately, while the user is using that particular application, the user should feel that it's very user friendly and very easy to use. Should not feel like, I don't want to use this application, very bad application. That feeling should not come for the user. Okay, it's a very difficult application to use, very confusing one. Okay, should not feel like that. Okay, so that is what is called as usability testing, guys. Testing performed to check whether how user friendly the application is developed by the developers for the usage of the users. Okay, while the user is using the application is called as usability testing, guys. Okay, the application should be easy for the user to use. How easy is the application for the user to use while using the application? That kind of checking done by the software testers is called as usability testing. Clear, everyone? If you're clear, just type C in the chat box. If you're clear with this, type C in the chat box. Yes, every application we have to do this. Yes, every application usability testing will be there. Yeah, usability test case will be part of the same test cases. Yes, correct. Same test case document, usability test case can be there. Okay, don't have to separately write the test case document and all. There will not be separate document for usability. You can include the usability as one test case or something in your test case document. That's enough. Okay, should not create multiple documents. Okay, all the testing types, all the test cases will, all the test ideas of different testing types will come into the same test case document. Okay. You don't have to worry much. Clear now? Everyone clear? With usability testing, UI testing, anyhow clear? Accessibility testing, what is accessibility testing then? Another term is coming. What is accessibility testing? What is accessibility testing? Accessibility testing. The next type of testing is what? Accessibility testing. What is accessibility testing? Easy to access? No. Testing whether the disabled people can use the application. Disabled means blind, deaf, okay, etc. Kind of handicapped people, deaf, okay, etc. Kind of people can access the application or not. For example, there is a blind person. For example, there is a blind guy, okay, but the blind guy is very talented that the company has recruited and the application need to be used by the blind guy. The blind guy want to use the application, but problem is that the application is not accessible. I mean, accessibility testing is not done on the application, and because of which some problems are being faced by the blind guy. If you go to airport, what will happen, guys? If you go to airport, what will happen? Do you see some symbols like some person sitting on the chair and all, where it is reserved for the blind people and all, and when you go to washrooms and all, there will be some separate things for them, right? That is what is called as accessibility, guys. Okay, and sometimes you will see, when you touch the tickets and all, right, you may get some, the embedded formats, that is for the blind people. Okay, that's for the blind people. Okay, you see, accessibility testing is compulsory, guys. In some countries it's compulsory, and depending on the application, a lot of things are there in accessibility testing, and there is a separate field actually. There is a separate testing field, specialization in testing. I'm not into accessibility testing. I'm not into accessibility testing, but I can recommend you a video that you can watch. Okay, just search for Firefox accessibility testing, search like this. Go to videos and okay, here is a video. You can use on tools like this and all. Okay, so all I'll say, just give me a second. Or better you do one thing, go to YouTube channel directly. Go to YouTube channel directly. And once you go to YouTube, right, search for Firefox space accessibility testing. Okay, like that you do. And you'll get a video on that. Yeah, this is a video, guys, accessibility testing. Okay. Erin has, okay. She is like, specialized in accessibility testing, and she has given a session for us. Okay, so you can go, and if you want to, if you are a kind of person who is interested in becoming specialized in accessibility testing, this session is for you. Okay, it's a 60-minute session where you will understand what accessibility testing is, like for blind people, for deaf people, for different type of people whose vision is not correct, and application should be. You see, if you go to this application, assume that a blind person want to use this application. Okay, a blind person has to use this application. In this application, if you hold the mouse, some tooltips are coming. You see, some tooltips are coming. These tooltips will be read by the tools which are being used by the blind people. The blind people will not be able to see this application, but they have some tools, that will, speak out. Okay, you are on the home page. Once you press a tab key here. Okay, now you are on the wish list option. It will say, okay, like that it will give you the option. Okay, it's a voice commands it will give you. That is possible if the application is made accessible for the disabled people, right? The kind of testing that you are performed to see whether this application can be accessible by the blind people is called as accessibility testing. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone? What is accessibility testing? I don't want to cover this in depth, but at a high level, able to understand what is accessibility testing. There are several tools in the market. Okay, there are it's a specialization. Okay, specialized testing and specialized type of testing where there are some testers who are very involved in accessibility testing. And second thing that you can do with accessibility testing is, we use tools. There are different tools in the market like AXC tool, okay, AX kind of tool, which software testers can use for checking whether this application is built properly is getting accessible for the disabled people or not, okay, for checking that, okay. In this world, everything should be accessible for everyone, guys, okay. It's not only for the proper people, for the disabled people also need the access to the things, okay. Yeah, you see, one simple example of accessible thing is like, what if you book a flight ticket, and on the flight ticket you are getting some dots. The blind person cannot read what is there on the ticket, but blind person can touch the ticket and see some kind of technique will be there, where some dots kind of thing, embedded kind of stuff will be there. When you say when the blind people touches that kind of code, okay, that he can understand what time the train flight is there, at what platform I need to go and wait, and all those stuff. Okay, so that is called as accessible, right? Anything making easy for the blind people to access, or disabled people to access, right? That is called as accessible. Okay, testing whether the thing is accessible for that kind of disabled people is called as accessibility testing. Simple words. Okay, that's the thing. Clear, everyone? Accessible testing is clear for everyone. Yeah, Braille language. Okay, Braille language is there. That is one example. Yes, the very big topic, guys. Accessible testing is very big topic. There will be WCAG guidelines. Yes, correct. You're right. Okay, if you want to dig deep, there are a lot of things to be covered. Okay. Okay. Explain accessibility testing. If you write like this to ChatGPT, will give you, visual impairments, hearing impairments, motor disabilities. They cannot, they keep, they are still, but the vision keeps moving for them. Okay. Cognitive impairments where they're mental wise, they are not good at all. Okay. You see, guidelines will be there like ADA. In US, they follow ADA guidelines for accessible. WCAG guidelines. Okay. Internationally, this is a WCAG guidelines are there. Okay. Good accessible practices often improve usability for everyone. Think of captions in noisy environments or keyboard shortcuts. Okay. And also there are some keyboard, when you keep pressing the keyboard side, you will get some keys, sounds and all. Okay. That is also accessibility feature. You see the automation tools for performing accessibility testing are like Axe, Lighthouse, Wave, many things are there. Okay. Manually also you can do that. And a lot of things are there. If you are interested, really interested in this, right? Just go this. Okay. Compliance levels are there in WCAG, and many things, many aspects. You keep digging, a lot of things will keep coming, guys. Okay. That's what is accessibility testing. Just go and explore there by yourself. Okay. For now, it's very big topic for us, so I'm not going depth in that. Okay. And also at the end, what I am saying here, guys, at the end of the step 2, what I am saying, we repeat the test cycles until we get the quality product. Are we doing the same here? Version 1, version 2, version 3, we are keep on going, right? Will not stop the versions until the quality of the software becomes good. Okay, that means that testing will not be performed on only one version of the software. Testing will not be performed only on one version of the software until the quality of the software becomes good. The developers are going to release multiple versions of the software, and testers are going to repeat the testing on every version of the software. Testing will be performed in test cycles. Okay, that's why we say we repeat the test cycles until we get the quality version of the software or quality product of the software. Clear, everyone? Clear with the step 2? Everyone clear with the step 2? Any doubts in the step 2 of the test plan document? You see, along with the test plan, you're understanding a lot of testing concepts here. Okay. Why I'm taking so much of time for test plan document is, when you complete the test plan, right, you will be very good with software testing. Okay. You will be very good with software testing. A lot of new terminologies, new techniques, design techniques, everything I'm covering as part of the test plan document. Okay. So that's the reason I'm taking time here test for the test plan document. And what is step 3, guys? What is step 3? Step 3 is also having something. Let's not worry about this, guys. It's not that much important for you to complete at this moment of time. Okay. What is sit phase? What do you mean by sit? Tell me, Srini. Why you are worrying about sit always? Yeah, tell me. Whatever you know about Srini, whatever you know about sit phase, you tell me. Yeah, that is a different system integration testing. Yeah, we'll do that later. Okay. This is not the right time for me to explain. Okay. Wait for that.
Hi, sir. I'm saying like in document will not mention about sit phase or whatever. Sit phase will not mention anywhere in the document, sir. Test plan document.
It's not compulsory. You see, I told you, right? The strategy is depending on every company. If every company has their own strategy, it doesn't mean that you have to put it. If you really want to put it, if your company thinks that city is very important, you can put it there.
Okay.
Okay? Got it, right? This is
Got
not a
it.
static one. This is not static for every company. This will keep changing for every company. Okay?
Got it, sir. Yeah.
These important points were there. I'm just explaining you. Okay? That's the only thing. Okay? So that's the thing. So every company has, different kind of strategy. So whether you want to put SIT there, usability testing there, accessibility testing there, it's up to you. Okay. And remaining parts of the test plan document we'll see now. Problem tracking and test tracking procedures, defect reporting procedures, any deviation from the expected behavior, or just give me a second, guys. Okay. Yeah. So there are few other words here, but if I cover them, we will not be able to complete today. Okay, a lot of things are still left out for me as part of software testing. I need to cover for you. Yeah, I'll try to summarize. I don't want to skip. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, but maybe it looks like we have to continue our journey, guys. Next week also, I may have to take software testing only because I didn't complete this weekend. I'm getting a feeling like, I'm not able to complete. Maybe next weekend, one extra day I'll take, maybe on 19th I'll take that. On Sunday, I'll start the API testing, but I'll try that. Okay. Today, I'm not able to complete software testing. Yeah, it's test plan document is part of the already shared to you. Okay. Test plan document, Smita is already shared to you. You have to go to the Google Drive that I have given the access to in the manual software testing. You go to the notes folder, notes document, and there you'll find everything. Test plan document you can get from session 12 notes. Okay. You can download from these notes. Is that okay? Smita? Can you find the test plan document? Yeah, everything is there. Whatever I'm covering is there in these documents. Okay, don't worry about that. Fine. Anyhow, let me not rush up. Rather, let me explain the things. Okay. You see, step 3 is like, to impress the client much more better way. Okay. Generally, the people can write up to step 1 and step 2, and it's everyone can do this. Okay. But step 3 is something that who want to explain to the client that what we do different from other companies. For step 3, we'll follow the below best practices. You see, best practices to claim that we are doing best in the industry, right? Many companies are there. Many companies are providing testing services like Cognizant, Signity, ZenQ, okay, Infosys, Capgemini, TCS. Everyone is providing the testing services. But what is the differentiator for a company to company? Their strategy. As part of the strategy of one company, I want to say that this is what we are going to provide to impress the client. Okay, to impress the client that we are going to provide this apart from whatever the other companies are providing to you. So this is what we are good at. Like that, I want to impress the client. For that reason, I have written the step 3. You can write step 4, step 5, step 6 also according to your strategy. For now, I am ending with step 3. Here, what I am saying, apart from whatever the testing process and type of techniques I'm using for creating the test ideas and performing the testing here, I'm also saying that we are going to perform some additional best practices to make our testing even more better than whatever we covered so far. How? One is we are going to perform what? Context driven testing. What is that, guys? Context driven testing. What is this context driven testing means? What is mean by context driven testing? You see, if I give you two applications, guys, if I give you two applications, one application is banking application, HDFC Bank.net. Okay, if I give you this application like HDFC Bank, HDFCBank.com application, if I give you and ask you to test this entire application, and if I give you some application of a school website, okay, some school website I will give you, like, yeah, this St. Andrews, some school is there. Okay, why it's not working? Another link is there. Okay, I'm going there. You can see the school website, right? You can see the school website. Okay. So here we have the net banking and here we have the school website. If I give you these two applications, tell me, will you follow the same approach for testing them? Will you follow the same approach for testing both the websites? For which one you have to be more careful? For which one you have to be more careful, guys? More careful should be for what? Banking application. Yes. Small transaction problem will come. Customer will, raise a complaint. If some school people are doing some mistake, we'll just call the customer care and say that I'm facing the problem and we have to wait until the problem is solved. Right? But if the bank application is giving you a problem, it is going to be a very big issue. There's a lot of problem with the HDFC Bank. A lot of defects are coming in the HDFC Bank software. So please use ICICI Bank. Please use other bank like SBI Bank. We'll say that. But coming to school website, it's not that much important. So the kind of technique that you will use for testing the banking application will be different for the technique that you'll use for school application, right? Okay. The critical application is banking, sensitive application is banking application. So you have to check each and every minute thing in a proper way. Okay. But if you're testing the school application, you can be kind of liberal. Okay. So that's what the context driven testing means. Every application testing is not same. Okay. Depending on the context of the application, the banking application has a different context. Okay. Where the customers may face a lot of problems with the transactions with their amount that is very critical for them. Whereas, okay, school application, that's okay. The context of testing the application will be different. Okay. We'll be performing the testing as per the context of the given application. Instead of doing the same testing process for every type of application, we will try to plan our testing in different way for different type of application. That is what is called as context driven testing. Clear, everyone? What is context driven testing is clear for everyone? Okay, just a name given to state that testing will be performed as per the context of the application. Okay. So different applications needs to be tested differently according to their context. Okay. For example, the way you will perform testing the banking application will be different from the way you will be testing the school website. Okay, this is what is context. Okay, context will change. That's what is context driven testing. Okay, so a lot of terminology we have gone till now. Let's move on to the next one. What is this one, guys? What is shift left testing then? Another one is coming as shift left testing. What is this shift left testing? Shift left testing. What is this called as shift left testing called as? What is this shift left testing? What is this shift left testing? What is shift left testing? Yes, early testing, correct. Moving the testing to the earlier phases of SDLC. SDLC is called as shift left testing. Okay. You see, you generally encourage the people to perform the testing from the beginning of the project itself. In the beginning phase of SDLC also, you have to test. It's not compulsory the tester only you have to test in a previous phases also. Developer can also perform unit testing, integration testing, right? You see, it's not only the testing role is not only for software testers. Testing can be performed by the developers also. In SDLC phases, if you see, there are different phases of SDLC where, requirement gathering and analysis, then design phase will come. Then, development phase, implementation phase will come, then testing phase will come, then maintenance phase will come. Now, for example, if you are waiting for performing the testing until the testing phase comes in SDLC of a software, what about the previous phases? If you don't perform testing, it will be that cost out of defects will increase. So what is the requirement here is we have to move the testing to the left side of the SDLC phases. That means a different type of testing. We can check the documents. In the first phase of software testing, we can check the documents. Second phase of the SDLC of the project, we can check the designs created by the design developers. Third phase, we can check the code, unit level and integration level we can check. Okay, testing can be moved to the left side, and it's not compulsory that testers only have to perform the testing in the previous phases of the SDLC. The developers also can perform the testing. Okay, the notation of the testing where the testing will start we'll keep pushing testing to the left side. That means previous phases of SDLC is called as shift left testing. Okay, we'll start testing from the beginning stages of the development itself instead of waiting for the stable build. Okay, this is called as shift left testing. Clear, everyone? Everyone clear what is shift left testing? Any questions you have with shift left testing? Any questions you guys have with shift left testing here? Performing the testing in the early phases of the software development is called as shift left testing. Instead of you performing the testing only after the application is developed, you are moving the testing to the previous phases of the development where both developers will perform, testers will perform, anyone can perform the testing. But the requirement here is testing should start from the early phases of development of the software. Okay, that is called as shift left testing. Simple words. Okay, terminology wise, it's called as shift left testing. You are shifting the testing to the left side of the SDLC process. Okay, you are shifting the left testing to the left side in the SDLC phases of the software development. What is the next one? Exploratory testing. Did I explain about exploratory testing already? In the previous sessions, did I cover the exploratory testing already for you? An experienced tester can perform the exploratory testing properly, I told you, right? You see, the one who is new to travel, if I give you the travel goal as Goa, if I go there, it will be very difficult for the new guy because no mistake have been done by the previous this person earlier. So the exploration of the Goa will not be done in a proper way. But if I ask the same task given to an expertise traveler, experienced traveler who has visited a lot of places earlier before coming to Goa, that guy can do exploring in a better way than the first guy because that guy knows what are the problems, pain points, and all of traveling. Okay, so exploratory testing will be generally done by the experienced testers. Okay, with their experience, they'll be able to explore the application in a proper way and find the defects which are uncovered by the test cases. Okay, that is called as exploratory testing, which I already covered in the previous sessions. The next one is end-to-end flow testing. What is end-to-end flow testing, guys? What is end-to-end flow testing? I'll give an example of ATM, guys. If you go to ATM, if you put the card and take it out, is it end-to-end flow? Just putting the card into ATM is end-to-end flow? No. Putting the card into ATM, then selecting the options, then entering the PIN, then typing some amount that you want to withdraw, then selecting the withdraw option, collecting your money, then you are saying I'm done with the transaction and collecting your card and going outside of the ATM. That is end-to-end flow. In application also, if I go to the application and simply go to the search functionality and type HP here and click on search button and see whether the searched product is coming here, can I call this particular thing as a end-to-end testing? Or if I go to the login functionality of the application, if I go to the login functionality of the application, and if I give the valid credentials here and try to log in and checking whether I'm able to log in or not, can I say this is end-to-end testing? No. What is end-to-end testing? End-to-end testing flows will be like this. I'll go to the application. I'll log into the application. I'll log into the application. After logging into the application, okay, I'm going to search for a product here. Once I get the product, I'll add it to the cart. Add to cart, shopping cart. Okay. Then checkout. Continue. Confirm order. And the order is placed or not. Continue and go to the my account and see whether the order is placed or not. I want to check whether the order is placed or not. Yes, order is placed. This is called as end-to-end testing. Got the clarity, guys? If I'm only checking the login functionality separately or search functionality separately or add to cart functionality separately or checkout functionality separately, that is not called as end-to-end testing. In real time, how the user is going to use the application end-to-end, okay, for getting his task done, that requires connection of lot of functionalities to get the task done. And that kind of testing, the user flows, how the user is going to use the application from end to end is called as end-to-end testing, guys. Okay. So the next type of testing I covered here is what? End-to-end testing. End-to-end testing. In end-to-end testing, okay, what is end-to-end testing? We'll test the end-to-end scenarios which will involve multiple functionalities. We will test the end-to-end scenarios which will involve multiple functionalities to simulate the end user flows. Okay, I'll just copy pasting that one. Okay, example. What is example? Okay, example is log into application, search for a product and place order for the product and check whether the order is placed. Okay, or receive the order, whatever it may be. This is called as end-to-end flow. Okay, only checking the search functionality is not end-to-end flow. Combining multiple functionalities to solve a user flow. Okay, to get the user flow done. Checking whether user will be able to complete a entire user flow is called as end-to-end testing. Clear, everyone? Everyone clear with what is end-to-end testing now? Everyone clear with what is all these types? Is everyone clear with step 3 now? Step 3 is clear for everyone? Just types in the chat box if you are clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. If you're clear with step 3, that's good. Okay. Just ask me the doubts if you're not clear with any other portions. Great. Okay. So here, this test strategy will not be same for every company, guys. Test strategy will keep changing. What are the testing types you want to put here? It's up to you. Depends on your company and all. Okay. So in one company, this strategy is followed means another company, a different strategy will be definitely followed. Okay. Fine. Next thing, what I'm writing, guys. Here, this section at a high level, I'll explain, guys. I'll not go deep. In the test plan document, another section we have is problem tracking and test tracking procedures. You see, whenever I identified some problems in the application, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to report the defects into a tool like Bagasura and all. I will explain all this stuff. When I'm going to report the defect and all, I'm going to write all the steps. Okay. Any deviation from expected behavior in the risk case document, any usability issues, I'll report the defect. Okay. I'll retest the defect. If the developer has stated the defect as fixed, I'm going to retest the defect before closing it. Okay. Every day at the end of the test execution, I'll send an email to the client. At the end of the day, I'm going to send an email to the client with the list of defects I have encountered on that particular day. Okay. You see here, at the time when I created the test plan document, I was writing defects will be documented in a Word document. Now I'm going to write, if I'm going to create the same test plan document now, I'll say that defects will be reported to which application? Bagasura application. Okay. That I have demonstrated to you. I can write. Okay. I'll document the test cases in Excel document. In real time, you can also document the test scenarios and test cases in a test management tool also. Okay. You see, there are softwares, guys. Okay. For reporting the defects, there are software. For writing the test scenarios and test cases, there are software. Everything can be automated. Right? Everything can be automated. Just imagine a situation where you go to a shopping mall, you purchase a lot of items, add to your cart, and come before you check out, there will be one person standing at the billing counter and you have to get them billed, right? That person is using a software. What if the person has not used the software? What the person would have used? He would have taken out a book and, write all the notes. Okay. Write all the product items, how many quantities, and multiply using a manually calculate the calculator and all, which is tedious process, right? Here, if you are reporting the defects into a Word document, that is a tedious process. It's not so easy. It's better you use the tools like Bagasura, Zoho, Bug Tracker tool, etc., for reporting your defects. And for writing the destiners and test case also, you don't have to use Excel document, guys. If you can use, okay, if you can use some tools like Jira, okay, Jira with Zephyr plugins, all those stuff. If you use such kind of tools, right, then it'll be good to go. Okay, instead of manually writing the destiners and test case in Excel document, you can automate that. That process can be automated in some kind of tools like Jira Bug Track, Jira with Zephyr plugin, or there are a lot of test management tools are there in the market, guys. Okay, there are a lot of test management tools. You can explore them. Okay, you can ask the ChatGPT also. Different test management tools. Management tools that are there in the market. So Jira plus Zephyr or Excel plugin. TestRail is another test management tool. Zephyr plugin, just now I told you, right? Jira with Zephyr. PractiTest, QTest, like that. Many tools are there in the market, guys. Many tools are there in the market. The popular one is TestRail. TestRail is a popular one. Popular test management tool that is there in the market. Okay. TestLink is an open source one. You can use it for free. If you want to try a test management tool for free, you can go with TestLink. But TestRail is a paid one. TestRail is a paid one, whereas a TestLink is a free one. Okay. You can, if for learning purpose, you can use TestLink. Okay. Like that, many tools are there in the market, guys. Many tools are there in the market. Jira is there with a X-ray plugin or Zephyr plugin, or you have this TestRail, or you have these tools like TestLink, which is open source tools and all those stuff. Okay. So you don't have to document the test cases in this kind of Excel files and the scenarios and test case in the Excel files. You don't have to do that. In real time, you can use test management tools. Okay. In real time, you can use test management tools for that purpose. Okay. Like you have used Bagasura kind of tool for reporting the defects, right? Instead of Word documentation. Similarly, you can create the scenarios and test cases and test management tools. Okay. You can create the scenarios and test cases in the test management tools, which automate the stuff. Okay. Which automate the stuff of creating the test cases and test scenarios, where the way you will feel very easy for writing the documenting the test case scenarios and all. What is the next section, guys? What is the process you are going to follow for reporting the defects is this section. What is the next section we have in the test plan document? What is the next section? Roles and responsibilities. What is roles and responsibilities means? Who are working on this project and what is the role? You see, myself, I am Arun Motori from Soletic Company. I'm working as a test lead, and my responsibilities are like this. Okay, you already know that this particular document that I'm creating right now, test plan document that I'm demonstrating right now, will be created by the test lead only. Okay, and the client and the role of the test lead is to prepare this test plan document before the actual testing starts and get the test plan document signed off by the client. And as other testers will do, I'll also interact with the application and create and execute the test cases. Even senior test engineers and test engineers in my project also will do the same thing. Okay, I'll also report the defects. You see, coordinate the test execution means I'm not only performing the testing here. The normal testing is performed by the senior test engineers and test engineers here, but test lead is having some extra responsibilities of communicating with the clients, creating the test plans. Okay, attending some daily meetings and all, updating the client with updates and all, and also at the same time, the role of the test lead is to, coordinate the work with all the team members. Okay, distribute the work with the team members and collaborate and gather the work from there and collaborate and put it together and all those stuff and send it to the client. Okay, that's the role of the test lead. Test lead role is different. Okay, if any problem happens in the project, then escalations will go for the test manager. Okay, test manager has to solve the problem between us, our project members and client. Okay, like when we go to a hotel and if you face any problem with the workers who are working there as senior or junior people, doesn't matter, who are serving, and if you are not happy with their services, you can say that please call your manager, I would like to talk to them. Okay, talk to the manager. Okay, I would like to talk to the manager. Okay, all good. Senior test engineer will also do the same testing work the test lead will do. Okay, like reporting defects, creating and executing test cases, and interact with the application, and also help the test lead in the process. Where test engineers will also do the same work, integrate with interact with the application, explore the application, execute the test cases, report the defects. In some companies, right, test engineer is not allowed to create the test cases, only run the test cases. Okay, as the experience of the test engineer grows, test engineer will also given the opportunity to create the test cases. Okay, when you immediately join the company as a fresher, right, you'll not be given the opportunity to write the test cases. Some companies will give, some companies won't give. Okay, so most of the companies may give. Okay, some companies will say that please wait for a while, don't do that. First you run the test cases, get some idea, later you can write the test cases, they will say. Okay, so who are the different people working on the project, what are their roles and what are their responsibilities? This is one table you can create. Okay, next one is test schedule. At what point of time what you are going to deliver to the client. Okay, I'm going to create the test plan and complete that by so and so dates. Then test case creation will be done in so and so dates. If you have a clarity, you can write this. Okay, test case execution I'm going to do on so and so dates, and finally quality report I'm going to submit in so and so dates. Deliverables as part of the project, what are the different items I'm going to deliver to the client? Test plan document, I'm going to this document that you are seeing, I'm going to deliver to the client. Test cases, okay. Defects I have reported will be shared to the client. Summary report or quality report at the end of the testing will provide the quality reports with all this. Responsible owner is Solytic. Okay, who will be creating these documents? Our company. Okay, on target completion test, if you want to give, you can give. Pricing, you generally don't worry about the pricing, guys. Generally the test manager will involve with the pricing activity. You share this document to the test manager. If test manager want to add any pricing and send it to the client, can send it. Okay, in some companies it will happen. Next one is what? Entry and exit criteria. Next section is entry and exit criteria. Everyone knows this entry and exit criteria, guys. Okay, so I would like to take this in the next session, guys. Okay, I would like to take this in the next section. Okay, so today I'll just wrap it here. Entry and exit criteria I'll take in the next session because it will take a lot of time from here. Okay, for today this much is enough. Next week also we are going to continue software testing, guys. I don't know because it's taking some time, but at the same time I don't want to miss any topics. I also have these topics in place. Okay, just give me a second. I have topics in place. Where is that? Yeah, it's not there here. Yeah, let me open that. I want to explain all the topics for you so that you'll be good with software testing. Yeah, if you have to cover Jira, right, next week and complete thing will be gone. So I'll be taking Jira also for you, okay? Or I'll just decide like maybe after API testing, if I can cover that also. Avirup, have you not attended the previous session? I showed you how to create the test case and test scenarios, right? Okay, please watch the previous recording, okay? Yeah, next weekend I'll try to cover, and if things are not covered to in the next weekend, right? Let me know. I'll explain that to you, okay? If any topics are not covered to you in the next weekend, just let me know. I will, okay? I'll be covering as much as possible, and even I'm opening the reverse KT topics here. You see here, this has a list of topics that I want to cover apart from whatever I want to cover here. So let's go through the list and see where exactly we are standing, okay? Okay, let the expand load here. Just give it some time. Okay. Lot of things are there, guys. We are going to cover. Okay, don't worry if any topics are not covered. We'll have that, covered. Don't worry. Just be patient because testing is not completed yet. I thought it will be completed today. I gave full energy. Yesterday also I gave 3 hours, almost 3 hours. Today also almost 3 hours we have spent on the sessions. But still it's not completed. That's okay. We'll try to figure out a way. We'll try to figure out a way, guys. Or maybe I need to plan something. What if I'm not able to, 19th to 20 are the days and, I should be in stretch actually. Yeah, fine. Next weekend we'll see the same manual testing part. I'll try to cover more concepts. The major area is done, guys. Major area is done. Only thing is that, some left out parts are there that I need to cover in detail. Okay. You see, these are the reverse KT topics. You see, what is software testing? Why software testing is required, why domain knowledge and its importance for software testing, basic testing types, what is manual testing, what is automation testing, what is a web application testing, mobile application testing. All these things I already covered. Desktop application testing, UI testing, API testing, database testing, functional testing, non-functional. We have performance and non-functional secure testing. I explained one domain like e-commerce domain for you already. I explained the software testing life cycle. And you see, with entry and exit criteria, that is part of the document. You see, here you can see the test plan document, right? You can see the test plan document where is the document? Yeah, this is the document. If you see, okay, why this is not coming? Yeah, here there is an entry and exit criteria section is there that I'm going to cover. This is pending to cover. Okay, I didn't cover about the BRS document. I'm going to cover a BRS document also for you. Then I'm going to explain, test plan document and several sections I'm covering right now. And as part of this, STLC with the entry and exit criteria also will be covered. Then I'm going to cover the BRS document also during this process. I already explained the test scenarios. I already explained the test cases, how to create the scenarios and test cases and how to write them and all, how to generate the ideas, and I already covered this. And I explained what is UI testing, but in detail I didn't explain. I'm going to explain that. I explained what is smoke testing today, what is retesting today, what is sanity testing today, what is regression testing today, what is experimental testing in the last weekend and this weekend also I covered this. And I explained the black box test design techniques today. That is equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table with example, state transition testing with example, use case testing with example. I given that. Now I explained what is error casing also, what is context driven testing also explained, what is shift left testing also explained, what is usability testing also explained, what is accessibility testing also explained. I didn't explain a defect life cycle. I'm going to cover the defect life cycle. I already covered how to report a defect in the Bagasura tool with example I gave that. How to take the screenshot of a defect, for the defect and all we using the snipping tool I covered already. Then what else is left out here? What are test cycles? I covered what are test cycles. Quality report I didn't show you. I'm going to show you. Agile Scrum methodology. I didn't cover any SDLC models and Agile Scrum methodology and different SDLC models. I didn't cover this SDLC models for you. I'm going to cover them. I'm going to explain what is verification and validation. What is static testing and dynamic testing with examples I'm going to cover. Okay. What are the different static testing techniques also I'm going to cover. What is static analysis? What are the different type of reviews? What are walkthroughs? Explain inspections and different roles involved. Okay. What are the different code reviews? What is pair programming? What are technical reviews? What are the different levels of software, like, different levels of software like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. I didn't cover that. I'm going to cover that later. Then what is positive testing and negative testing, unit integration or levels of software testing. And then in different types of integration testing like big bang, sandwich, top down, bottom up are there. Then I'll explain what is system testing, what is user acceptance testing. Under user acceptance testing, we have alpha testing and beta testing. What are they? I'm going to cover. What is white box testing and black box testing also I'm going to cover. Test environments are already covered. Jira I didn't cover. I'm going to cover Jira also. Okay. You can see that, partially things are covered, guys. Okay. Maybe we need one more weekend to complete this. To complete this, we may need one more weekend. So next weekend, we'll see that. Okay. So I don't want to miss the topics for you guys. So, I want to cover these topics for you. So in the next weekend, I'm going to cover the topics that are not covered yet. Okay. So whatever you see, this is a final document that I need to take the help of and, cover, and we'll do some R&D also. If after covering all these topics also, if you find some topics that I have not covered, okay, at the end we can have an, R&D kind of, learning kind of stuff where you can ask me, because with my experience, I give you all the answers. Okay. You want the image in the chat box? 1 minute. Export. Or I'll do one thing. I'll simply say file share, public link, upload. Just give me a second. I'll share the link directly to you. You can access the link. You can access this mind map using a public link. Okay. For that, I need to upload. Just give me a second. So this is the link. Copy to clipboard and I'll paste in the chat. Okay. And also I'll post that in the discussion group. Okay. Xmind, pending topics or software testing topics. I'll give you one assignment, guys. The assignment is that till now, whatever I covered, what you have to do as part of the assignment is, before the next weekend comes, okay, assignment for this weekend is something like this. Okay. Assignment for this week is explore different things in software testing. Self-explore, guys. Okay. Yes, session is going on. Okay, this guy is saying in the chat. Okay, fine. That's okay. Assignment for this week is explore different things in software testing. And find out the topics that are missed by me during the training. Okay. You can post the topics here in the same group, in the same QFox discussion group. If you feel that I have not covered one topic, right? And if you have found it by yourself, you just post that topic. Okay. And give a proper description, guys. Don't directly post it sat like that. Okay. Give proper examples. Okay. What you want exactly, you have to write that in the WhatsApp group. Okay. That's the assignment for this weekend, guys. Okay. For this week, for this entire week, what you are going to do the assignment, you are going to get confident in this. And at the same time, you are going to explore different items or concepts in software testing and find out the list of topics that I have not covered during the training. Okay. So this will help you also. Okay. Indirectly, by doing this assignment, I'll be able to teach them, which I have not covered. I've tried my level best in covering as much as possible. But you see, testing any topic is endless, right? So, but if you find out any particular topic that you want me to cover as part of the training, just ping that in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Ping them in the WhatsApp group so that I'll cover in the next weekend. Okay. That's the plan. Got it, guys? Clear, everyone? Everyone good with this? Okay, great then. Okay. So that's all for this weekend, guys. We'll connect next weekend. Okay. So I thought I will start API testing next weekend, but that's not going to happen. Next weekend also I have to spend our time on manual testing itself. Okay. We'll try to wrap up the things next weekend. Maybe in the next 6 hours, we'll try to do that. Okay. Fine. Bye everyone. See you. Take care.